No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Just absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. But yeah, watch together link should be in the chat. So just open that and should be on your screen.
Alright, are you ready to get started?
Yeah. I've got the watch together up. You just need to get the video, paste it.
Alright.
Then we're golden.
So here's what we're gonna do. For everybody that's here right now. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do disagreements for like an hour, maybe hour and a half. And then after that, somebody made a response stream to my video about media discourse. So we're gonna cover that because I've watched about an hour of it already off stream. And Jesus Christ, these people they're special, let's just say that. How's the Camaro?
What do you mean special?
The Camaro's
what do you mean
good.
by that?
They're special, bro. They're just a special group of people.
Well, in that case, let's get some disagreements here. Y'all are on the line. What are your motherfucking disagreements?
Alright, let's get Starkstar out the way.
Starkstar, you're on the line. What's the disagreement and tell us why?
Hang on a sec. Let me get my headphones.
Okay.
Gotta get the headphones ready ahead of time.
Yeah, come on. You were early. You were earlier than us, bro. You were ready before us. How you missing your headphones? Can you give me advice on how to kick my uncle out of the basement?
With your feet.
Yeah. Tell him to get a job or something. I don't know.
Okay, guys. I'm okay. What? Shit's.
Are any of you two gonna cover Sheaves the Boys video or EFAB's video on Eric Kirk's article about the boys just right now watching the season? I was thinking about doing half of Sheaves' video because it's an hour long. Like I do want to respond to it, even though I haven't watched it yet. But it's probably shit.
I'll be sure to help you ghostwrite that one as well, you know.
Okay, here we go. But okay, guys, I should say that what I should say is that
Join.
I haven't seen
Oh, it's there.
I haven't seen Joker 2. I haven't seen Joker 2, so you don't mind.
That's fine.
if I,
This is open disagreement day.
Oh, good.
Starkstar, what's your disagreement?
Okay, let's see. Let's see here.
Alright, you got about 1 minute to figure out your disagreement.
It's about No Way Home. No Way Home again.
No Way Home? Okay. What's the disagreement on No Way Home?
Starkstar, do you even actually have a disagreement? Or are you just like thinking of shit off the top of your head right now?
No, of course I do. Of course I do.
Well, I'm being serious because, like, you know, I'm trying to move things along quicker.
Don't worry, I do, I promise. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. No Way Home. About let's see. You say so Leslie, you say you have problems with Doctor Strange's character in that movie?
Yeah, Doctor Strange, I think he's completely destroyed.
Especially that whole like beating him in the mirror dimension.
Well, that's one of them, but like
He's
the
nerfed,
wider
character
issues.
assassinated,
Yeah, he's nerfed and he's character assassinated.
and nerfed again,
Yeah.
and character assassinated again.
Yeah.
Well, about that, can can it be possible? Like, I mean, isn't I'm sure Spider-Man's capable of like outsmarting it and anyone. I mean, he was able
Not
to
anyone. Not
outsmart
Doctor Strange. The reason not for Doctor Strange is because Doctor Strange takes this very situation seriously. He thinks if the box is compromised, that's a risk to the fabric of reality. So, literally all he has to do is send him through a portal, which we see him do in the fight, but have that portal lead to a cell, and Spider-Man's just done. There's not a single thing Spider-Man could do to account for that.
If Joker chooses not an 8 out of 10, then come on Disagreement Day.
No.
That's what we're here for, bro.
Fair. Well, it's still. Couldn't it? Oh, it shouldn't be chalked up to like him not brushing up on his like fighting skills.
Huh?
Can it be chalked? Fuck. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought it was booted. Anyway, can it be chalked up to him not brushing up on his fighting skills?
No. The reason for that is this is Doctor Strange. He has a very good the reason he's able to pick up on stuff so easily is that he has a really good memory. He has photographic memory. So it also made him a good doctor as well. And he's not the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. That changed, but he still very much values the magic that he does. He wouldn't just lazily, take a break with it and be rusty. That's not it within his character. That's not what he learned in his first movie in Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange
He's constantly protecting. Well, he's constantly protecting like something in the MCU. So,
well, yeah, their whole thing is protecting the sanctums.
Yeah, I don't know why he would just be like, yeah, I'm taking a month off,
like Kenobi style.
Okay. Okay. Also, about the whole like Peter's not working as a team. Well, it's just for Toby's beard. He's never worked in a team. Maybe it means he never worked in a team like this before. It's like.
Okay, but here's the problem with that. So if the whole idea behind whether or not you know how to work as a team, like that's dependent on how you actually that's dependent on your experience working with other people. Toby has worked well with Harry. They had great coordination. Like they were a great team together. So it just seems disrespectful for him to just be like, yeah, I don't know how to work in a team when you have that in Spider-Man 3. That seems completely off to me. And sure, like MCU Spider-Man has like worked with the Avengers before, but just because he has more experience doesn't mean Toby doesn't have any.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, that's all I got out.
It'd be like just I guess as a comparison, it would be like if Insomniac Peter, because like his first technical team up was with would it be with Sable or Miles?
Look at the Disagreement Day weight room.
Oh. That's funny. But yeah, like it'd be like if Insomniac Peter was to be in Beyond the Spider-Verse and be like, yeah, I don't know how to work as a team. I'm just gonna be like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you when you say that. Leo. Is that it for No Way Home?
Okay, yeah, that's it.
All right, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Goodbye.
Okay. See you.
Oh my Disagreement is membrane
Someone
production.
in chat
Are you here?
said, SK, have you watched Madvocat's video on Deadpool and Wolverine? I did watch the video. I think it's wrong on most levels.
No, it's working. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yep.
How's the quality?
It's alright.
It's alright.
Okay, alright. I just watched Joker 2 last night.
Mm-hmm.
And it was okay. I think it's definitely not an 8 out of 10. But
Why?
I just feel like it's not as if it wanted. It's hard because on the one hand, it is a very well-made film for sure. Like the cinematography is great. I actually like some of the musicals. Like maybe like the one that is really good is the the first one in the prison. I think that's when the whole what's it called when he
After he meets Harley.
yes, that one. The one that he's like, I'm not alone. Is that what song? That's the one I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. Excuse me. I just feel as if the movie was kinda, it didn't really have a point. Like the movie starts in the prison and it ends in the prison. Which it's kinda
Wait,
weird.
what?
Yeah, it starts in the prison and then it ends in the prison.
The movie?
Yeah. I mean,
What?
yeah, it
What's the
ends.
problem with that?
I just feel like I get the message of the film, and I get what it's
Okay, what's
trying to convey.
what's the message of the film, and what's Arthur's character arc?
That he doesn't want to be the Joker, basically. Is that right? Yeah, he
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's that or that like I wouldn't describe it like that. I would more so say in the beginning of the film he's like depressed because people are like telling him he's got dissociative identity disorder and like trying to say he didn't really do those things, he didn't really mean those things, da 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 da. And he's like kind of depressed and regretful of like where his like the path that his life took, because when he became or like when he did what he did on the Murray Show, like yeah, sure, it brought him happiness for a little bit, but that happiness kind of slowly started to fade away until Harley comes along and that Joker persona starts to come back like within him, and then it like reaches a point where he's fully back to that point. And then when seeing Gary, Mr. Puddles, he like we see why in the beginning of the movie he's acting like depressed and like shit like that, because he's kind of regretful of his actions. And then as like fucked up shit, as he realizes what he did to like Gary, and as he sees what his actions cause his like followers and supporters to do, he like takes accountability and says I can't be this figure that you guys want me to be. I wish I could blame everyone else for this miserable life, but I can't do it anymore. I killed 6 people. Da 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 da. That's what I would say his arc is. So to say the movie has no point is just wrong. Just explaining that.
Sounds like an incel.
Okay, valid.
Shut the fuck up, SK.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I just feel like the movie, the idea was there, but it wasn't executed properly.
Why?
I feel as if the screenplay was a bit disjointed. Like, it definitely could have been written better, for sure.
Why and how?
It's yeah, you're good, dude. Fuck.
I'm just asking like why you think these
no, I
things.
know.
Like I don't know.
No, I know. But it's because I don't know. I feel as if shit. Damn, bro. I guess this is disagreement day. Fuck me.
Okay, do you not have anything to say? If you don't, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure something out here. You caught me.
Well, let me help you out, because I think you could have had a point, like that I would agree with. That I would agree with. I think if they dropped off some of the musicals, and just let the scenes play out that already conveyed what the audience already knew, like with like how they're feeling and stuff, I think that would have helped with the pacing and flow of the story. I think the
Yes. Oh
musicals.
my god.
I think the musicals, are they make the movie like bloated when it doesn't need to be.
That's what I did feel. I definitely did feel it was bloated. Like, there was definitely a few musicals that didn't have a reason to be there.
Well, I mean, they have a reason to be there. It's just
What?
It's just they serve too much of a. They don't need to be there. That's I would say.
Yeah.
For some of them, but I don't think that like if you think that's enough to bring it down that far, just like by all means go ahead. But I don't think like there's not even enough musicals. Like the musicals probably take up 10 to 15 minutes of the entire runtime, and the movie's like what 2 hours and 20 minutes. I wouldn't say that's enough to bring it down like that much, and I don't even think the musicals, even though I don't think they're needed for a good amount of them, or they're like really on the nose. I don't think they're like, you know, I was like pounding my head against the wall every time they were like on the screen. That's just how I feel about it.
Did they ever sing
Yeah,
"Do You Want to
it's-
Build a Snowman"?
Shut the
Ooh,
fuck up.
damn. No,
That would have been peak, bro. Frozen's a masterpiece, bro.
Yeah, but I feel it's not a bad movie. Like, it's not bad at all. I definitely would say like at least 6, maybe 7 out of 10. I just
Okay.
don't think it's 8 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other criticisms of the movie? Is that it?
I just kind of thought the ending was kind of a little. The whole well, I don't know. What's your take on the ending? Because I forgot to. The ending, like the whole, Arthur getting shanked. Like, what's your take?
I think, like I said, did you watch my video?
I did, but I watched it. I was kind of.
I'll just kind of repeat what I said in my video. I think it's like representative of the fact that like Arthur was like this inspiration, this icon to the people, like in the same way that like he validated their mental illnesses or their experiences by explaining like his problems with society, and those people resonated with them. So when he like invalidates those people by taking accountability and not blaming everyone else, that like invalidates their experiences. So that's why that guy kills him, in the same way that Arthur looked up to Murray his whole life, and then like when Murray starts making fun of him, it like invalidates Arthur's thing. Hence the reason why he, one of the things that built up to him going crazy at the end of Joker 1, and he says, you get what you fucking deserve, which is the same thing the other guy says to Arthur when he kills Arthur. And I think it's meant to parallel that, but it's like the opposite when it comes to like Arthur.
So basically, like, it was him getting a taste of his own medicine, in a way.
In a fucked up way, yeah. Like he tried to change for the better, he tried to take accountability, and what he got was the problems with society making another person kill him, because he when he tried to be better, even that didn't work out, because he like invalidated people that looked up to him.
Do you think that the director Todd was like, do you think he intentionally like tried to tie this movie with The Dark Knight, or do you think it's just
No, I think it was just I think at most it was just a subtle nod to Heath Ledger's Joker. I don't think he's trying to say like there's nothing in the movie that says, oh yeah, this is connected to The Dark Knight. That's really Heath Ledger's Joker. I think it's just a subtle nod to.
Yeah, because I think that's what a lot of people were like thinking.
I don't know why
really...
people think they were actually in the same universe. I think it's literally just a simple like reference. Like I don't see an Easter egg in like Arkham that references like a comic or something and be like, oh, is this connected to the comics?
Yeah, because I didn't really get that either. I was like, I don't think this is connected in any way to The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think he was trying to say it was. I think he was just giving a subtle nod because that's like another Joker.
yeah. Even if it was, I still kind of think that. You know what? Actually, fuck. Dude. Yeah, okay, you know what? I think I'm done here.
All right.
Shit.
All right. Thank you
Good
for
talk.
coming on.
Good talk.
Goodbye.
Good talk.
Oh wait, no, this guy was here first.
Oh.
Zach Ristic.
Oh,
You here?
hello.
What's up? What is your disagreement? Tell me why.
Okay. Well, first off, how you guys doing? Doing good?
Doing pretty solid.
Doing well.
Okay,
How are you?
That's great. That's great. Let me just roll that in. Okay. So my disagreement is with Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Specifically with one scene. Well, actually, yeah, but the scene in the bunker with Arnim Zola. It's not a direct. Yeah. Continue.
No, I'm just saying. I'm noting it.
Oh, okay. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, it's not a direct disagreement with any of your points in your original video, but it definitely does tie back to them, especially when you said that when the fight in the elevator scene was used by Hydra to take Captain America out of context so that S.H.I.E.L.D. can turn against him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Is it okay if I post an image in the chat so like I can better emphasize my point, or do you want me to describe it?
Yeah, you can post an image in the voice chat.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think he has permissions to do that.
Oh, you don't?
Oh.
Then put it in general. Put it in general, and I'll open general.
No. Put it in debates because general.
Alright, put it in debates. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it in debates. There we go. I'll post two, but the second one is the one I really want to focus on.
Alright, let's see.
These are scenes from these are screenshots from the scene.
I don't really want to put it up because of my post.
There
August
is.
disappears. Hero who sacrificed everything. Yeah. So what's this about?
Yeah. Okay, so Arnim Zola shows these images to Rogers and Black Widow, like kind of teasing what's going to happen after Insight is fully executed. Now, at least to me, I interpret these scenes as like they were going to paint Captain America in a good light after Insight was over, which means after Captain America is dead, hence the hero who sacrificed everything. Now, this kind of destroys or contradicts their entire original plan, was to frame him and make him look like the villain, hence the elevator scene. And it just kind of boils down to, if you're going to end up painting him in a good light in the end, why waste all this time trying to make him look like the bad guy when you could have...
Yeah, I could explain that easily. So, in the Arnim Zola scene, the context of it is that Zola's trying to stall Captain America, and he's just trying to, keep it prolonged. So, just because he shows like a potential news article that's made, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the narrative they're planning to give out by the end of all of it. And if anything, that's not even like Hydra specifically saying that. It's what the news might potentially say. But also, just to add on to that, they didn't know that Cap would actually catch on to S.H.I.E.L.D.'s compromise. So they could have made that newspaper like a while before already, like just as like a visual concept of what to expect from the media. And if Cap hadn't figured anything out, then they would have just been like, yeah, he disappeared and went out as a hero or something.
That's actually a really good explanation. Yeah, that clears up the whole thing.
All
to
right.
be honest, yeah. I do have one other disagreement. If that's okay.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
It's during when Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow, they get captured by the strike team, and Rumblow's saying, "Not here, not here. Don't kill him right here." And they put him in the truck. Now, what your past self was arguing was, why don't they just immediately kill him? And your point was that since they're already captured, there's no rush, and things could get messy or bloody, and they need to clear up the evidence quickly. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, because it's like, once they put him in the truck, I feel like they could just easily just shoot them in the truck, like just one shot to the head, and they're already dead. And if they need to get rid of the evidence,
they can. It's less efficient if like you shoot them down in the truck and then it's like, okay, we have so much evidence to just clear out. If there's blood everywhere, it's like, and you arrive back at SHIELD with blood all over your truck, it's gonna be like,
Well, it's not even accounting for the fact that like blood doesn't even just like go away like that. Like there's normally like, even when you clean blood, there's sometimes you can still find traces of it.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm not saying they can't get rid of it at all. I'm saying it's just easier and more efficient for them to just find a site where they can dispose of the bodies.
Show me the bodies.
Show me the mustard. Yeah, I understand that. But but I feel like we have to keep in mind though is that the strike team is like, it's still Hydra, right? I mean, like, and they still like drove somewhere. They detoured from SHIELD in order to then kill them, and they bury their bodies. So I feel like the truck would get messy, but then I feel like that just kind of becomes like, so what? Hydra's like afraid of a little blood, and once they kill them, they could just either dump the truck in the ocean or something like that, or just blow up the truck entirely secretly.
They're 16 hours away from Project Insight, so the idea is that when they head back to the SHIELD Triskelion, they arrive and no one suspects anything. This is probably like the most crucial moments in time where you don't want SHIELD to be suspected of anything because they're very close to getting Insight finished. They're very close to launching the helicarriers. So it's just simply easier just to dispose of them at a site. I don't see what the rush would be in this context if they're all they're already like handcuffed and stuff. So yeah, I would just say I think what they went with is more efficient. It's easier as far as avoiding suspicion, and there's really no hurry to kill them at that point. If you already got them, so.
That is a good point. I mean, I feel like I mean, I guess my argument is like kind of like motivated by like some form of paranoia, because I mean like, not exactly paranoia, but it's like they really do need Captain America to be dead, so I feel like they just shoot him in the truck and they just dispose of the bodies. But I understand your point that like if they're already captured and they have to already avoid suspicion, which also again, if they just shoot them in the truck, then the noise would come out, because I wouldn't
true.
assume
That
the
would
truck
cause some noise on the road.
Yeah, so I wouldn't, the noise would definitely come out.
Like someone could just see that and be like, okay, I'm calling the police. There's a gunshot going off.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I remember I had a point about Maria Hill as well, because it's like if they shoot him, then Maria Hill comes out, and then that kind of screws up a lot also. But they wouldn't know Maria Hill was in there.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous. This is my first time, but really
no worries. No worries.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
Someone said, did SK see Joker 2? If so, does he agree with Colin's terrible take? I haven't seen Joker 2, which makes this a little more interesting.
And why don't you come on and explain why it's a terrible take?
I gotta watch Joker 2 after Transformers 1.
Gotcha.
Watch Transformers 1 first. Transformers 1 is based.
I'll definitely watch that. All right. See you guys.
Goodbye.
Which John?
Jonathan Sampson.
Jonathan Sampson. Jonathan
You're on
Sampson.
the line, Jonathan Sampson.
Hi, Daddy SK.
Whoa.
What the
What the What the fuck?
Yo, SK, you got something you want to tell us, bro?
I didn't think there was something to tell y'all.
Alright, other Jonathan Sampson.
Alright, other Jonathan Sampson.
Hello,
God damn!
Hello,
Fucking
SK.
air conditioner.
You eat so much McDonald's, don't you? You ate.
Oh
you
my
even ate the
God.
buildings, didn't you?
Oh my god.
Now you're eating.
You
Burger
won't let
King's
it go, will
foot
you, Jonathan Sampson?
No, not until I fully assassinate you. Nah.
Since you're so confident in calling somebody a McDonald's eater, Jonathan Sampson.
Yeah. Since you're so confident in threatening to assassinate people, Jonathan Sampson.
Well, you called in from an unknown number. Because if I knew your number, it'd be a different story,
wouldn't it? Huh? You sucking your balls right now? Huh?
Shut
What
the
a
fuck up,
fucking
Amazing Lucas
Dumb
Jr.
fucking moron. He goes to make a stupid argument just to get under my skin and calls me stupid for calling out the stupidity of his argument. Why the fuck would Doc Ock care if he called the police, alright? He knows, alright? Like, Harry would not call the police. Why would fucking Harry call the police when he's the one who gave the tritium? Exactly, you don't know, Pimpin. So you know what this means? You know what this means, Pimpin? Goodbye. Goodbye.
Mr.
I will
Lord
not
have
even
mercy.
dignify.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I thought his
response.
profile. Dude, I thought his profile picture was Kingpin's face. Like.
Smokey. Oh, Jesus.
Mr. Oh Lord have mercy, are you here?
Mr.
You're
O.
on the line. What is your motherfucking disagreement?
Oh, there's an unmute.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, what
good
is
afternoon,
disagreement until... Oh, we're doing good, we're doing good.
Doing
What is
good.
disagreement? Tell me why.
Specifically, the disagreement is that just over pregnant Spider-Woman. I didn't see any reason you had to justify her. Specifically, like you said that like, what she's a high-ranking officer in Miguel's like entourage, but like to me that's still nonsensical and just like uncharacteristic of like the characters.
Well, that's
Like,
that
say
wasn't
she
the
was like
only thing that I said. What I said is that right now, Spider Society, they always have their hands full. They're always like really busy most of the time. And with Spider-Woman, like Jess in this case, she's the most qualified that they have available right now. A lot of the people at Spider Society right now are probably new recruits. The reason for that is you usually don't send new recruits out to go on these missions. You don't even normally send Miguel out for these missions. You'll notice he does a lot of managing and watching over stuff. So the fact Miguel even had to be there indicates to me that they're not exactly high on numbers. So when Jess needs to be called for backup, that just communicates to me, yeah, they're pulling her here because they don't really have anyone else, and she's the most qualified to help right now. You send someone who's a new recruit or someone who's inexperienced, they could get themselves killed, which is bad for numerous reasons. But another thing that I brought up was that it really doesn't work when people bring up that, well, there's this slight chance you'll kill the baby even though she's a spider person, so obviously the risk is different. The reason that point just fundamentally fails is because this is the same society that operates on the whole, you have a choice between saving one person or saving an entire world. That's their line of reasoning, and they think the Vulture will break the canon if Miguel doesn't handle this conflict properly. So, yeah, that communicates
saving the baby,
to me
saving the world.
This is completely
Yeah,
within
like
our
the
character.
situation is yeah, no, like I get what you're saying. The situation is so dire that like it's worth risking the baby, even though she's pregnant, and that like the whole situation like warrants it. I still find myself in disagreement. Like I understand what you're saying that like Spider Society like still overall new, like they're just getting established, and the reason like they even work at all is just because Miguel has like far future technologies, and like you wouldn't want to necessarily use a new recruit, but like I don't necessarily see that you can't that Miguel couldn't potentially use somebody else besides the Spider-Woman. Like,
well, I mean, the Spider Society's been like up and running for like a year at this point, and Gwen told Miles that she got there like a few months ago, which can be like 4 or 5. So I think it's fair to assume that they didn't have enough people available, especially when like their numbers were probably low to begin with.
Yeah, Jess even says we could use the help about Gwen.
Yeah, I know, and that's what her whole recruitment was. Her whole recruitment was initiated because otherwise, technically, she should be dead. But Miguel needs the help, so like he takes her on. I get that, but overall,
wait, who should be dead?
Shouldn't Gwen should be dead? Isn't that what she's avoiding her universe, and so that's what she goes into like helping save others?
She left her universe because of her dad. I don't think she was gonna die. Unless you're like talking about the scene right before Miguel comes in.
Potentially, yeah. Either way, she wants to avoid the tragedy anyway. There's more enough motivation that the movie gives her for her to come on. There's more enough motivation for like Miguel to like have a spider society because like it just makes sense to.
Well, even before like she knew about the sob story or whatever Gwen had like with her dad, she wanted to bring Gwen on. Like she was telling Miguel we could use her, which I think implies like they need as much numbers as they can at that point.
It's like they probably have a decent amount of numbers, but like they're constantly busy at like the same time. Because remember, they still have their hands full, like even months afterwards, and like they're still dealing with anomalies from Kingpin's Collider when Miles goes to Spider Society. That's months later.
Not even just anomalies. Like the Spider people probably go back to their own universes too from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like ultimately, like I guess here's just like the point of my argument and like why I ultimately disagree with it. Like don't get me wrong, within universe and within writing, you can make just about any other reason like make it fit as to why you specifically or like what's like we only had this person available. It's just my question is like from a writing standpoint. Like say that you had to draw the scenario and bring about the reasons. Why did you choose to bring a pregnant Spider Woman into the fight scene?
Why the fuck?
Like,
No, I'm making a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like to me, it's funny. It's like to me, it spoke more to like the writers wanted to say that we wanted to write any story, which is kind of like the message that Across the Spider-Man has that you don't have to follow the same narrative. You can write different stories. It's just to me like pregnant Spider-Woman doesn't make a good writing standpoint. Within the universe, you're both correct that it makes sense that like she's the one chosen. I'm kind of tackling this from a writing standpoint. Like say we're all standing above like the writer's board and like making the storyline and the plots. It doesn't make sense to me that you decided to choose Spider-Woman out of all the people to like help you out doing this. Like I could write any scenario where like, hey, we don't need Spider-Woman. It's actually Spider-Ham, the cartoon Spider-Pig. He's the one that we need. And I could make that as a writing choice. My disagreement is more with the writing choice and like the direction they took that because like it's jarring for the movie to start out like that. Like from a writer, I don't wanna.
Well, if it's from a writing standpoint, what exactly would the issue be? Because the only one I could possibly think of is whether or not it's within her character. But we already just proved that it is within her character. So at that point, I would ask like, what would the issue be?
My issue is that like from a writer standpoint, I still need to think about my audience. If I know like just across all ages, say 18 all the way to 40, because Spider-Man's old, and I know he's gonna have a bunch of fans watching this. Why would I want to put a pregnant Spider Lady as the de facto savior off the get-go? Is kind of what I'm going with. When the situation is the universe is at stake. This is, I guess I should preface this, but this is not my only disagreement. There's another disagreement I have that's completely separate from this. But I was wondering if like, is there like enough time allocated to talk about that? Because it could get lengthy.
We got about 20 or 30 more minutes before we start going over it, or before we like stop disagreements. So.
Yeah.
All right. So that's fine. Okay. So forget my second argument. I guess just focus on this current one, and overall just pretend that you're the writer and you gotta pick someone to come help out Miguel because like he needs the help. Like the situation's dire, and obviously like in the universe it makes sense like why it's specifically hers. Like everybody's busy, we don't want somebody new. Hey, if you don't do this, the universe is over, so your baby's gonna be dead anyway. We can make that as a in-universe justification, but like as a writing justification, it doesn't hold much weight. It detracts from the movie a little bit because it's so jarring. So it doesn't make sense that you chose her.
Well, I would have to ask, like, what is the factor that's jarring? Because the only way I could really see this be jarring is if it's just simply not within her character. But we proved that it is, like I just said earlier. So, like, I'd have to see, like, what is specifically jarring about the fact that she is pregnant? All that really says to me is that it tells us how far she is in her life and what she has going for her. It's just a subtle way of telling us that.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's characterization within your visuals of your characters.
Me, I just thought she
Specifically,
was fat. No, I'm just kidding.
God damn piece of shit. Uh, no, specifically the thing that makes it jarring is that you're putting a pregnant lady in a dangerous situation. I could see that how as the world building is like, hey, the stakes are so high and so dire that we gotta use a pregnant lady to to friggin' to help us save the universe. But and like that makes sense like further along the line. But to start off your story and like to conceptualize it at the very beginning of it, it kind of doesn't make sense to me that you would use a pregnant inspired lady, because you could have picked any other character as a writer, and it didn't really seem to me as a good starting point. The jarring thing is that it's a pregnant lady in a fighting situation, and as a writer, I don't know why would you make that decision when you have a whole Spider universe that you can use.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I feel like we're kind of going in circles at this point. It's fine if you don't agree with the writing choice. I think it's perfectly fine. So, if we agree that it's like still at least within character, then I don't think there's like much
within universe it makes sense. Yeah.
To dig through that. That's my main interest with this stuff. It's like, is it within her character? Is it not? But yeah, we can move on to your next disagreement.
Sure. Technically, this was a disagreement that that you said you possibly discussed with me, and but we never got into it. So and I had it with other people, and we haven't come to a conclusion. It's that the Spider Society doesn't really make sense narratively as a concept for the Spider-Man mythos. So I'm not talking specifically about the movie, but Spider Society as a whole to like have that as part of the narrative for the Spider-Man mythos.
All right. What's the disagreement with
it? So I guess it's just so like Spider-Man as a character. If I have two characters, is that like he's selfless in every regard. Peter would never like have his life be ever thrust upon anybody else, purposely ever. Don't get me wrong. As a writer, I can make a million justifications or in-universe reasons as to why I would. I know you wouldn't want this, Peter, but now you gotta deal with it. Is that like? But as a writer, I have to make that choice, and I have to see if that choice works narratively. If I know my main character, who's who before Spider Society was even a thing, so like when they started, if I remember, this is Peter Parker, is unselfish. He wouldn't want his life upon any of Spider-Man upon anybody else. If anything, if he had the choice, he would never want to be Spider-Man. So why would I create an entire universe full of Spider people that have the same burden as my as my main character, when I know him specifically would never wish this to happen? Again, this is coming from like a writing standpoint, not necessarily in universe ones, because like they gave all the justifications as to why they have him there. Again, from a writing standpoint, why would I make a Spider Society knowing the characteristics of my characters and that he probably wouldn't want a mantle, wouldn't want to give his life of crime fighting to anybody else? His life, by like in the Spider-Man is miserable, so he'd be like against it. So why would I feel compelled as a writer to make a Spider Society? Is my disagreement with it.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of on point with the ideology of Spider Society, being that being Spider-Man is a sacrifice. That's the job. That's what you sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it makes sense within the narrative they're trying to create for Spider Society, how that operates.
Could you be a little bit more specific with that?
Yeah, like the idea that obviously being Spider-Man is a detriment to your life. All of them understand that, but I think they also understand that it's worth it in the end because of all the good that's achieved as a result. That's how they see it.
All right. And no, like again, like, to me, that's still like basically just like Peter's point. It's why he continues to be Spider-Man, even though it's a detriment to his life. Like he kind of has that going on, like that theme. He kind of just carries that by himself. I don't see where or why I would make a whole society within my writing for Peter. Like some characters, they have mantles and they have kind of like their own like power groups and that makes sense kind of for their narrative. But I guess specifically for Spider-Man, it doesn't really work with him.
I mean, I'd say it does in the context of the film.
Oh yeah, no, like Across the Spider-Verse, yeah, it makes sense because it's taking like Madam Web's like multiverse bullshit, and then like creating new characters within it, and then having an in-universe reasons to make it happen. So like my disagreement isn't like so much with like the characters, because like I like the movies. I like a lot of these characters. I especially like Hobie. He's probably my favorite in the second movie. It's just I'm coming this from like if I was the writer, even though I made a fantastic story, I couldn't give them a good narrative reason as to why I created a Spider Society, considering that my main character, who they're all they write from, would never wish this upon anybody else. He wouldn't want a Spider Society to happen, so I wouldn't feel compelled as a writer to write it.
I don't know if that's entirely true. At least if we're talking Peter Parker in the comics, because like of course like he does say to himself like, you know, I wouldn't wish this on other people, but we also have him later on like in issue 200, like he verbatim says, you know, most people wish they could help their fellow civilian. And he sees himself as like, you know, lucky, and he's grateful that he has these powers so he can help all these people. So I don't know. I think he would have a much different view as he gets older.
Okay. No, I can see that, and especially like he gets help from other people.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, I can see some narrative weight like adding to it as he progresses with his life. It's just like I guess I'm just so used to seeing Peter just being downtrodden, miserable, and like just down on his luck that I never saw him like agreeing with the idea of Spider Society, and like that's always been a constant with him. So like I would say like
I think it's something that would bring him comfort that there's so many people out there like him that experience the same thing.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. It would bring him comfort, but like it would be a selfish kind of comfort because all these people are now suffering just right along with him, carrying his name and his legacy. And I'm not quite sure how Peter would like feel about it. Like say if Spider-Man like was brought to life and he was in the writing room, like seeing his writers deciding where to take his comic, I don't think he would like necessarily like go in this direction, I guess.
I don't think so. I think he would be very happy to know that the society of those people exist and that his legacy is being carried across, you know, time and space. Yeah, I do like that line.
I would agree that like Peter like wants like good like wants heroes. He wants other people to like fight for what's true and like be able to save whenever like bad things happens. But like I guess I ultimately still disagree with it, just on the account like there are other heroes in New York. It's filled to the brim with just about everybody else. So like I guess like if like if I'm putting myself in Peter's shoes and if I was in his head and he had like I don't know commanding power of his writing within the universe, he would probably like give himself one final struggle, stop being Spider-Man, go home and just be happy that like his life is good, like he's helping, and then like make it so like all the like the other heroes in New York would be able to defend New York without him.
I don't know if that's what Spider-Man would like set out for himself. Like just leave it to every other hero. I think he would see himself as very important in protecting the city and the world.
One said I think the animation in the second movie is just way too much. Hell no.
I can kind of see that, yeah. No, I can kind of see it. Like it's just honestly, it's.
Oh, I was just gonna say I do like the line in Shattered Dimensions where Noir says, you know, it's good to know that there is a future, and that the mantle's being carried out, or good guys like you to carry the mantle or something like that. Thought that was a pretty neat line. Batnick just said, 616 Peter found relief when he found out about Spider Society in the comics. It revitalized him and gave him hope knowing that he wasn't alone. It's a Jonathan Hickman story in one of the anniversary comics that came out a year or two ago. Interesting. Jonathan Hickman.
No, that isn't. No, so. Okay, no, then I guess that makes sense. I think that's really all I have to say then.
All right.
I'm kind of convinced with it with like that second argument, but that first one, I guess it's just a difference of opinion.
Okay.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
Have a good day.
Right,
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mr. Taggy, you're on the line. What's the disagreement to tell us what?
Hello.
Hello? Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello. Okay, so this is not my disagreement, but like one of my friends about Deadpool. Wolverine said that he called it like a myth because it didn't focus too much on Deadpool's the other movies, about the storyline, the other movies.
I'm sorry, what?
So, one of my friends said that he didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine so much because it didn't focus on the storyline from the second movie.
Well, it's a new storyline, so.
What the fuck? I'm so confused on that. Like, what?
But I'm not that good at explaining. Okay, like.
No,
Well,
I'm sorry.
what's
It's
your
just such
disagreement? Let's not
Yeah.
go
My
into friends.
disagreement.
Because I saw
My
you in the
disagreement.
comments about Joker 2, so I'm like, maybe
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
have something to say. I don't know.
Like, it was a while ago. Watched the Joker 1, like a while ago. But I hear the Joker 2 is not that good, you know. It's not
Okay.
good.
Why?
But I've seen you guys say it's like an 8 out of 10.
I
guess
didn't
it's
say
like
it. I
7 out of
haven't
10.
seen it. I'm just
Yeah, I know.
enjoying the discourse.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
I'm the one that says an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of
shit.
10.
Yeah, man, you have my prayers and thoughts, man. Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, I'm very, like, my head hurts right now. I just want to say that. No, I'm like, my head is hurting like a lot. And I'm probably gonna
Okay.
sleep now. Okay, then you guys have a nice day. But like, this disagreement is like kind of short, like an hour. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. You guys busy?
Well, I mean, we're not ending it. We're just responding to a video, so we're gonna be taking
Oh, yeah. Okay. What video are you responding to?
someone made a response video to me.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go sleep and then watch the rest of this disagreement. Okay, you guys have a nice day.
It's alright.
Okay, man. I'll probably watch the Joker 2 when it comes to digital. I don't want to go to theaters right now.
Alright,
You guys have a nice day. See ya.
see you. Then Daxel. I don't think he's here.
Hello.
Oh, look who finally showed up.
Look who finally showed up. What's up?
Is my mic working okay?
Yeah, it's working.
All right. First off, I know I'm not really on like good terms with any of you, but the same way y'all
I
want
got
to
no
criticize
beef.
others,
I got no beef.
I don't know. But the same way you guys want to criticize others so they can grow, that's basically what I want to try to do. And
All right.
can I bring a friend in here?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can. What's his name? Or there? I don't know.
Oni or
Oni,
Fargal?
Are they in the waiting room?
No. I'll ping him. Please respond.
Man, I would have pinged them earlier.
I told them earlier too. I was like, nigga, we're gonna go in disagreement day. Please make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
If he's not, I guess we're just gonna do this solo. So my disagreement is on your takes on. Sorry, hold on. The video about social media discourse.
Uh-huh.
The first point being is this kind of got on my nerves because you said at 1651, quote unquote, I don't care if Little Uzi shut up a school, I'm gonna listen to every single one of these albums.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's funny. This kind of goes back to what Dresden and Creeper were saying about being an influence and saying shit like that. That's gonna bounce onto your fans.
Yeah, what's the problem with that?
You know that separate art from the artist is a deflection used when people are called out for supporting terrible people, right? It also doesn't.
How is it a deflection? If you're supporting the art, right? That like sure you are supporting the artist, but like if the art's bringing you something, that doesn't mean you agree with their opinions or their stances or things that they've done. That just means you like shit that they've made.
If you boycott or avoid consuming their content and they don't get as much sales or views or whatnot, you're basically telling them that what they did was wrong. So that's why it's best to boycott those kinds of people.
There's multiple ways you can tell people they're wrong though.
That's usually the most effective way, especially since if you have a large audience, you're not just gonna go into their DMs or just walk up to them in person and say, hey, what you did was wrong, because chances are they'll just brush you off.
Ben Axel, just real quick, I want to bring up this example. You're an Edge of Time fan, right?
Yeah.
So Peter David openly said that the racists at like Charlottesville or the neo-Nazis, that I'm sure you heard about that situation. It was in 2017, I believe.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? What did he say?
Well, he said that they shouldn't be fired from their jobs if people don't like them. Would you say that's Would you say that's kind of a harmful idea to put out there? That you're obligated.
That is a
not
harmful
to fire
idea.
Racist people or neo-Nazis if they don't align with your morals or whatever.
I mean, I guess it depends what they're doing.
Well,
if they're like a Wawa cashier, sure you have a reason to fire them, but like, as opposed to if they were like a teacher.
What I'm saying is that like I think it's the idea that he's condemning the idea of firing anybody when they don't align with your organization's values, especially if it's like racism or something. It's like, yeah, that's kind of not a good idea to put out there. So
yeah,
should we just stop?
What I was
leading
saying
to was, should we stop supporting Edge of Time because of what Peter David said about the white nationalist or whatever?
That's a good question. That's a little disappointing to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I
if
guess
you still played the game, if you still like enjoyed the game and shit, I wouldn't like hold it against anyone. It's just like I feel like if
you're absolutely right. You shouldn't hold the content against someone. What I'm saying is that it's an issue when your only defense is, oh well, separate the art from the artist.
Why is that about defense?
Well,
that's what you're doing.
The defense for it is like as far as consumption, right? We're talking about the context of just consuming it. For example, just listening to the music. Like, let's just say, I don't know, tomorrow it came out that Madonna killed people. Should I just stop listening to Like a Prayer? Should I just never listen to it again?
Well, I guess in the way that you like Edge of Time right now, and you probably still like Edge of Time, even though we just told you the shit about Peter David. It's like, just because that person did something, that doesn't mean that you now have to be like, oh no, fuck this, I'm not listening to this, not consuming this, not liking this anymore. It's just a stupid idea to have, or a standard to hold people to. Like, if you personally don't want to engage with that because the creator did something or something of that nature, that's your choice. Yeah, but it's like, it's not a problem if another person doesn't really care, and they it doesn't affect them to the point where they'll just stop liking what they like or what that person created.
Right. I guess we can just go, I don't know, agree to disagree on that part. But like I said about like what Justin and Creeper were saying, you can't just really be saying stuff like that, especially since there's been multiple occasions where you've said something like that and you got hate for it. It kind of feels like you just didn't learn.
What's the problem with me saying that?
It's just a stupid thing to say, and people will just take that out of context.
Why?
I don't know. That's just how people function.
Yeah, but like it's your point. Like you agree with it, so like why do you function that way?
Good question.
Like,
okay, on to my next point. In the pretentious brainwat part of video, you said, wait, hold on, no. I'm confused on what RSG2 said that got on your nerves. He didn't say, you know that clip you brought up, he never said that superhero media is brainless and has no artistic vision. He said that they can be comic book movies while being thematically rich at the same time.
No, basically what he said, like, cause I watched that video, and he like basically shat on me for no reason in that full video. Like he was basically demeaning superhero stories, like as if like, oh, if you like superhero stories or like treat them as if like they're the best thing ever, then like, oh, your opinion means nothing. You don't know what true art is. Da 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 da.
Right.
Like he said, I agree. He said that like he likes superhero media or whatever, but he's still disrespecting like the way he's framing his points in that video. Maybe I don't know if it's really, maybe he just framed it poorly, but like the way it comes off is, oh, you're the superhero fan, or even if you only like superhero movies, you can't say, like he verbatim says, imagine only watching superhero movies and then calling something great. It's like, even if that was the case, like you only watch superhero movies, you can still be like, yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the clip you used specifically. It's not like you
He said that in that clip.
No, he says that superhero media now, or the superhero media, he says that superhero media can be good and be comic book media at the same time. He never said superhero media in general was bad or degraded.
I didn't say that he said that. I didn't say that he said that. I mean, he did say the second part that you just said. Like when he says superhero fans are not fans of storytelling or something, like he said that. I don't remember verbatim his words, but he said like, yeah, superhero fans, they don't care about good storytelling. They care about the character. They idolize these people. They're icons. That's why they like them. It's like, no, you can't just say that because it's just not true for everyone. And it frames it as though these characters like don't have good writing.
Right.
Like even like going back to like the Invincible shit that I was talking about with him, he was still trying to demean it. It's like, oh, you guys are superhero fans. You don't know what real greatness is or whatever. Like that's just a sentiment that he's put forward, not even just in that video that he made, but even in the past.
Again, I'm talking about the clip that you used. It just kind of.
Do you want me to like pull up the clip that I used? Because I'm telling you, I remember the part of the clip that I used.
It really, that clip kind of looked like it could have helped you.
What do you mean?
Honestly, if it kind of helped, it kind of looked like, you know, what he said. It kind of looked like he was helping your point that superhero media can be more than just mindless action movies or whatever.
Not okay. Let's just pull up the. I'll just pull it up. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Like that part, superhero fans are superhero fans. They're not just fans of stories. It's like, what?
I think he's talking about the fans that he comes across. You know, the ones that just consume garbage or mediocrity. I think that's what he's talking about. I don't think he's generalizing.
Well, I think throughout the video he kind of does generalize.
Throughout the video?
Like
But
yeah, like throughout the
can you
course
play?
of this
Can you
video.
play the entire
Yeah,
clip?
yeah,
though?
I'll play the entire clip.
And watch What If. But then, just imagine them saying the word pretentious. Take me, growing up and walking away from superhero fanboy syndrome, and I'm the asshole for not wanting to watch the most mediocre movie you've ever seen. Like, guys, am I the asshole for wanting to watch a film with an actual artistic vision? I think.
Like I don't see how he's like supporting my point, like with that, like what he just said right there.
I think what he was trying to say, I kind of understood what he was trying to say, but I think it was the delivery that kind of confused
Well, I
you
mean,
a
that's
bit.
what I said. I said if that's not what he meant fully by it, then sure, whatever. But that's just how it came across.
All right, that's fine. Okay. Okay, I think this is my last one. In the popularity brainrot section of your video, I feel like it's worth pointing out that the people that say shit like L take or whatever in your comment, that's to fuck with you, right?
Yeah.
They know you
But
get heated.
That doesn't. Yeah. I know. That doesn't mean that some of them don't mean it though.
You're kind of feeding into the said brain rot that you're talking about.
I'm not really feeding into it. I'm just pointing out why you look like a moron when you do that shit if you're like being genuinely serious. Like if you disagree with my take, like I'm just letting it be known, like if you disagree with my take and that's the way you do it, it's like I don't take you seriously. You're a moron to me.
Right.
It's not like I don't even like getting those comments. Like, yeah, they can be annoying, but like any comment I like under my video because engagement.
Good point, I guess. I think that's pretty much all. I just needed you to clarify some things because some of the things you said kind of sounded weird. So I think it sounded better the way you explained it here.
All right.
Okay. Will you be covering The Penguin, also Arcane Season 2 when it comes out? Yes. I'm probably gonna make a video on Arcane Season 1 before Season 2 comes out, if I have time. Alright, who do we want to get in next?
How long have we been at this for?
Do you want to bring in... I mean, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. Do you want to make this the last one?
Yeah, we'll make this the last one.
The Ghost, are you here?
Yeah, sorry, I was reading Journey to the West. Hi, quick introduction. My name is Arthur, and I'm a big fan of both of you guys.
Arthur Fleck?
Oh, I wish. I'm going insane over here with my autism. Also, SK, next time you see Lucas on stream, he better take that fucking hat off. You go after him.
He better.
Yeah. And the things I wanted to bring up aren't so much disagreements as much as they are just questions that boggle my mind. So just from sorry for the Spider-Verse question, because that's what I'm gonna do. And I know you guys keep getting them, so I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Why doesn't Miguel? Why doesn't Miguel recruit the more experienced and powerful fighters first? Like, I get he probably recruited 616 because he's the most iconic one, so he probably recruited him first, right? But I mean, why didn't he recruit?
I don't think it's connected to the comics. There's nothing in there that says it's connected to the comics.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just from me a writing perspective, I would have done it more like, hey, let's recruit Cosmic Spider-Man or Beyonder Spider-Man so they can take care of things more quickly. You know what I mean? Because they're the most powerful variants.
How do you know they exist?
Well, not even if they exist. How do you know they agree with Miguel? Do we know they agree with him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would want to just save the most lives like Miguel does, right? So I kind of figured from a writing perspective that, they'd want to help.
Sure, but if that's the case, one, we don't even know if Miguel has run into those people. We don't know for a fact that they have even agreed with him on the Well, yeah, also exist. I mean, could they exist somewhere out there? Sure, but it's an infinite multiverse, so it's possible Miguel just hasn't run into him. It's the same reason as to why Miguel maybe just hasn't run into the Christopher Daniel Barnes Spider-Man. Maybe he hasn't run into
and why he ran into like the Insomniac and Spectacular Spider-Man, but he hasn't ran into like a fully corrupted Venom version, right?
Well, it's like the idea is he's gonna run into some people, of course, and some of those will happen to be Spectacular, Insomniac, Unlimited. But there's also it's such a wide multiverse out there that he can't just have them all. Like he's eventually going to get to other spider characters out there.
And yeah, there's only one, base he's in, so I guess like it kind of makes sense for him to have to like pick and choose who's closest to him, so that way his world doesn't just get bombarded by a bunch of other society members, because there's an infinite number of them in such a small universe in comparison to everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to ask a brain fart moment here. What do you think that what do you think of like the null thing for Venom 3? I think that like they should have made it more of an MCU project, but that's just me.
I just don't care for Venom 3 really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't really care for the Sony universe of those Marvel spin-offs.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting to me.
I only really cared for the first Venom movie, and I didn't like the second one because they didn't make it rated R despite Carnage being in it. But I have some gripes with that stuff, and I'm sorry. I'm having my usual autistic brain fart moments here because I'm really like kind of nervous, and I'm such a big fan. You guys always make my day when I watch you guys, and I'm nervous and need to calm down for a second.
It's all good.
There's I would probably prefer that we talk about it in like a different, place, because this is just stuff I want to talk about for Spider-Man 3, the game. So probably do that in a different, place if you guys don't mind friending me, so we could talk about it more.
Yeah, just hit us up at some point if you want to talk about it. I mean, I'm not really interested in the Spider-Man
Yeah, I was about
game.
to say the same thing. I'm not really like too invested in that. It's not coming out for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and then the whole Insomniac leak thing kind of revealed a Venom game or whatever.
Well, I can tell you right now, I just don't want that game to be made.
Yeah.
I know.
I was happy with I was happy with just being able to play it, but in the context of the story, why would they bring him back anyway? Considering Peter would probably just off-rip use the anti-venom suit to take care of Venom. It kind of just doesn't make sense plot-wise.
I don't know. I mostly don't. The main reason I don't want it is because I just don't want it to intrude on Spider-Man 3's development like Miles Morales did for Spider-Man 2's.
Yeah. Sorry. Calm down. Okay. There is some like things I do agree with you guys on with like No Way Home and Far From Home, and the Tom Holland trilogy with like them character assassinating Doctor Strange, because there was so much more stuff he could have done as well than just like, hey, I'm gonna put you in the spirit realm and stuff like that. There's a lot of other stuff he could have done, like I'm sorry, brain fart. There's just more stuff he could have done. There was like, I don't like understand why he didn't put like some kind of safe password or whatever in case something did happen to the box.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing for that.
I feel like he should have been smart enough to just find a way to put some kind of safe word or some kind of spell on the box in case something hit it, you know?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's just if we're criticizing No Way Home, I just kind of expect agreements at that point.
Yeah. I like the movie, I like the crossovers, but there is a lot of stuff I have gripes with that aren't really disagreements, so I'm not going to bring those up.
Alright, yeah.
Trying to think of other disagreements, but I'm just having major brain farts. I'm sorry, guys.
That's alright. I mean, if we're trying to just think about it, then we could just end it off here.
Alright.
Because we're trying to get to a video as
Sorry.
well.
Yeah, sorry for being a bit more of a waste.
That's alright. That's alright. You're fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm big fans of both of you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll continue watching the stream.
You too. Yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Alrighty. Do you have the watch together set up?
Link is in the chat, like I said. Just get the video and paste it. I know we're good. SK, what's curious is the EFAP Guardians 3 response next. Just want to say you've been cooking with the response vids. Appreciate it, yeah. EFAP Guardians 3 is coming soon. Stero's gonna be helping me out with that one. I think I just might straight up name it Debunking the Worst Guardians 3 take. Because, wow, their stream is horrible. Like, there's just so much bad faith in their criticism for Guardians 3, it's kind of insane. There we go. Alright.
I added it to the playlist.
Alright, we got it. Alright. Ready to... Yo, I'll just hit play.
Alrighty, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to this podcast number 821. The
basically just skip all this shit.
Media.
Skip all...
What timestamp?
Here, I'll do it.
Yeah, just you
set called Bloomberg.
There's multiple things I would question. One,
the wider audience. When it's done wrong, you just dilute your IP. But Magic the Gathering recently had a set called Bloomburrow that had it.
Let's get started. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I want to see you and that door, baby. Bye bye bye. I don't know.
In sync.
Oh my god, that was in sync, really?
Yes.
How old are you, Eric? Jesus.
Yes.
Damn.
And why did you listen to
this guy in the top
anyway,
set.
Let's get started.
Through this video, this Colin guy is a massive consumer who does everything in his power to defend normie media. Damn, he got me, bro. He really cracked the case.
It's the fact that they used that song in Deadpool and Wolverine, that's why.
Yeah, you didn't see it?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'll get around to watching my Canadian brothers another time. Anyway, let's keep going.
Media. It's something that a lot of people consume on a very frequent basis, but it's also something that's discussed a lot as well. Hell, it's the reason you clicked on this video and or why you're subscribed to my channel. But there are problems with media discourse and things that annoy me that I really want to go over in this video. Whether it be
I think it's their audio.
For video games, movies, TV shows, etc. But today I will be mainly focused on storytelling media discourse, or that will be my primary example. But that doesn't mean the things said in this video can't be spread into all forms of media. So let's start with the first thing I want to discuss. Now, it's no secret that if you follow me that I make a good amount of response videos on this channel. One of the videos that got this account traction in the first place was a response video to someone who I'm now friends with. And my most viewed videos on the channel are mostly made up of response videos. And yes, I know it's because a lot of people like drama and are attracted to it, but yeah. But in my time making these response videos, I've gotten very similar comments under my videos. And the number one repeat comment under all my response videos is something I kind of want to get into. That being, you can't debunk an opinion, or it's just just their opinion. Why do you care? This kind of comment has always been incredibly stupid to me for multiple reasons. First,
depend on what the opinion is based on.
What? What? I don't think it matters what the opinion is if you're just like, if that's just your opinion. It's like, that's not really a response now, is it? That's the point.
well, I think what he's the thing out he like basically like just let it play out.
All right.
I keep hearing from another group someone's some hypothetical opinion. I don't like Lord of the Rings because there's too many gunfights in it. And yeah, that's obviously an opinion born of lies.
Okay, but like, I wouldn't just say to them, that's just your opinion, or it's just this person's opinion, or whatever. I'm a little confused.
I think he was agreeing in that sense. That's the problem with this. It's like, they'll kind of just repeat, like, for like the beginning of this part, they'll kind of just repeat my fucking point, and just say it in a way that they think is better, I guess. And it's like, okay. And like, there's points where like I won't even be done with my point, and they'll just pause it and then like go in.
I know what he's actually. I think I know what he's going for now. He's going for, it depends on what the opinion is. If it is just their opinion, like if someone just says, I enjoyed this, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna respond to them enjoying something. That makes sense. I just think it's like funny.
Well, yeah. If someone says it's like, oh, if someone says it's like, oh, my favorite food is fucking pizza or something, it's like, yeah, you can't really debunk that.
Yeah.
There's nothing really but there are opinions. Like, I agree that it depends on what the opinion is, but I don't know why he had to do that when I'm trying to elaborate.
This guy says Colin thinks babies are physically capable as teenagers. Look at his Across the Spider-Verse video responding to Sheep Talks.
Yeah.
So if you lack the content literacy that you're lacking in this comment, I mean, I think if you actually listen to the video, you would realize that his point wasn't that they're the same. It's that it doesn't matter how old you are. There's still like very specific amps that you get, regardless of what age you are. Like,
well, it wasn't even just that. It was like yeah, there was the thing like, yeah, she's still a superhuman baby at the end of the day, so stop comparing her to a real life baby. I also gave in like, power scaling and stuff to like support my point or whatever. And I gave like, examples of like Miles being younger than Peter B, yet they still seem to be pretty relative in terms of their abilities. And I also put in the context of like how Peter is going about the situation, how he's avoiding the risk or coming of harm to Mayday. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of things brought up.
But it's not
or whatever. I've seen this person like follow me and shit, so I'm like, we could have.
Well, it's not surprising because whenever I get these comments a lot, it's like whenever they like disagree with what I'm saying or whatever, they don't actually like. A lot of people just don't want to listen to what my point is. They want to only hear the part that they want to do and key in and cherry pick that like something out of a larger point so that it, like, I don't know, they can cope with thinking that they're still right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, opinions can be bad and they could be criticized like anything else. That's true.
Okay, agreement then.
It literally is just agreement for like the first.
You would see that the definition of a debunk is to expose the falseness or hollowness of a myth, idea, or belief. Now, I know reading, listening, and having basic literacy is hard for a large number of people on social media, especially when you're saying something they don't agree with, but you can in fact expose the hollowness of someone's opinion and point out why it's a weird one to have. And something else that has happened in numerous response videos of mine that also falls under this definition is when someone makes a criticism of something, they will either just intentionally lie about what they're criticizing or unintentionally misrepresent something that they're criticizing. And both of these things, I think, fall under something that a lot of people seem to overlook when it comes to discussing media, and that's subjectivity versus objectivity. Let's take a look at some
So, first good point, he's talking about substance. And so because he criticizes
like
hollowness, that means a lack of substance.
Given a grade right now.
Please continue. You wanted to say, Fred?
That seems to be making some good points.
Yeah, I like him so far.
If someone, for example, says, I don't like Batman, that's a completely fine statement on its own. But if you question why that person doesn't like Batman and they say, because he's a human and can do stuff no normal human can do, so it's stupid, well, then we have an opinionated statement right there that someone can now go and expose the hollowness of. If I was to see this criticism, there's multiple things I would question. One being, well, do you think all human characters that do unrealistic things in fiction are bad? To judge whether they have an inconsistent standard or not. Because then by default, you've already exposed why their take on one character compared to another is hollow. Another thing...
Nitpick. Because he's nitpicking about the right things. There's a difference between not liking a character versus thinking a character is bad.
It's like, you see how he just kind of like fucking agrees with me or whatever? Like,
No.
I didn't even... I didn't fucking, like, as the thing continues, like, when someone's, like, cause my point is, like, you know, what's it called? If they're saying the character's bad, and then I go, okay, da-da-da-da, like, I explain my point before he, like, you know, pauses it and says whatever he wants to say. It's like, what? Okay, thanks for adding nothing.
Yeah. I'm honestly, if this is just what the beginning is, then we should just skip to the main disagreements.
Yeah, I mean, I can,
Because if you don't like Batman because he can't do, he does things that human different things.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are things that are extremely or just in general, whether it be the visual quality of a film, someone's favorite color or food, how good a character design is, things like that. But to circle us back to subjectivity versus objectivity, to put this in the most simple terms possible, the best way I can describe it is using this as an example. If I was to point out a plot hole or inconsistency with the rules of an established world, the way a character acts, or how powerful a character is, and nobody can come up with a good defense that debunks that criticism, then I would see this as a problem with the story that I'm criticizing. Do I think it's objectively a problem with the story that everyone has to take issue with? No, but that's kind of where I finish the point. Because what I would say is that if I point out these logical inconsistencies within a story and nobody can debunk it, then that is objectively a logical inconsistency within the story. But whether or not you see it as a problem in the story, that's where the subjective part of the media consumption comes in. People are going to have different standards for media, people are going to be impacted by a piece of media and take it more seriously than others, and be impacted differently than others. But then that leads me to another problem within media discourse that I see, whether it be in my comments or just on social media in general. So let's start off by talking about standards.
Okay, so he's kind of getting to what objectivity refers to, and he just, I think, happenstance talked about standards, so it's like you're getting there, just in a very lapsadaisical kind of way.
No, I've already explained it clearly enough. I don't need to do any more. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, so, good for you.
He doesn't waste time, does he?
Yeah, he's good.
Now, people are going to have different standards for things, and that's fine to an extent. But I do think it's genuinely harmful to media being created when people have standards that are so low. Like on my Far From Home video, for example, I got a good amount of comments from people that consider things like a character being out of character or character assassinated, or numerous logical inconsistencies within something, or things that destroy the world building of a universe. I got a lot of comments under that video saying that a lot of my criticisms were nitpicks. So let me just simply actually break down what a nitpick actually is. By definition, what a nitpick is described as is to find or point out minor faults in a fussy or pedantic way. Now, I think to put it simpler, it would be to simply criticize something that doesn't really matter much, something that doesn't really break the cause and effect of the events of the story, or something that doesn't do damage to a character. Now, what is cause and effect in storytelling? Well, this is something that I explained in one of my videos previously when talking about plot armor. So first we need to establish...
Oh, no, that's too many. That's too many things at once.
Yeah, he's...
Okay, so I'm trying... What they don't understand is I'm trying to explain standards, and when you say these criticisms that I'll lay out are, you know, nitpicks or whatever, it calls into question your standards. So these are conjoining points, and I'm explaining in this, I'm using the plot armor example because I'm showing what cause and effect is in practice in this video. These are conjoined points, and it's about, you know, nitpicks and, you know, what is a nitpick and what isn't a nitpick. So him saying, no, there's too many points. It's like, what are you talking about? It's pretty simple to follow.
He's jumping around. He's beginning an idea and he's connecting to another idea, then he's jumping to that idea.
No, the ideas connect.
Yeah, so just on a nitpick, because I used one just before he got to that. That's a pebble, but a pebble can start an avalanche if you're not careful.
Dude, this sounds like a lecture.
We have to be, especially when you talk about logic, which
Like
he tries to.
college
If you want to
lecture.
get to objective criticism, objectivity, we need to nitpick. Because if we don't take care, if we are not careful, cautious, then
This sounds like a
we
Pixar
build
character. I love it.
on an unstable foundation. And there cannot be little pebbles under the foundation that make it all wobbly and eventually break.
That's not even what the point is, though. Like, which we'll get to later, because like he'll bring up the pebble thing later. But yeah.
Which, by the way, that's no shade to
that's
these
vital.
people. When I say like I'm laughing at how he's talking, that's no shade. I just find it funny.
Important.
It's like he knows the meaning of these words, but he's taking like the 1/5 definition. He's using that, and then he's like, here's causation. Well, let me talk about plot armor. It's like, yep, causation is one of the definitions of plot. I don't know why we're on plot armor. That's kind of unnecessary.
Because it's something that attributes. It's like a showing of like cause and effect in practice. I'm using an example.
Sorry, but this is how he's talking, and I'm like, can you actually define the word and explain it and show what's a good one and what's a bad one?
It's almost like
Now
I'm
he's just
getting
going
to that.
another, I made a video on plot armor. Let's talk about that. It's like, okay, keep going.
But you like this guy, right?
He's smart. He knows what he's talking about.
He's on the right track. I'd
Yeah,
say.
it's like he's in the ballpark, but he's not like telling me exactly what I need to know.
Oh no,
I'm
it's
still
very
trying to
soothing.
process 2 minutes ago.
This is so stupid because I literally am. That's basically what this whole section is. Which is why I
Okay.
kind of want to skip it. It's just like them saying what they're saying now.
It's agreement, disagreement day.
It's agreement, disagreement, and them just not understanding what I'm doing, but also understanding what I'm doing at the same time, but still not understanding it. It's so just.
I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. It's like you see it.
It's just funny. Well, wait till we get to the
It's
one
a
part
degree
where
of
they
good
really.
faith here, and validity to some points.
Yeah, just wait till we get to
It's
the.
like I don't think they're
the
crazy
political
people
brain
right
rot.
here. They seem reasonable.
No,
but yeah.
I know. It's just
It is
funny
funny,
the
though.
way
It is
they're
funny.
responding to the.
But yeah,
the
let's
shit.
get to the meat. Let's get to the meat.
Oh, this part was funny.
Gold boomerang to be exact.
The villain is stupid.
In a logical manner, keyword logical, then that is not plot armor. But if, for example, me, was to fight Reverse Flash, a normal real-world human, and I was able to beat Reverse Flash in a fight, someone who is literally faster than the concept of speed and time, then there's no logical reason why I should win that fight because I have no reason to be winning that fight. And even if you were to give me a reason for winning that fight, like let's say the anti-Speed Force device or gold kryptonite from Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, that reason could still be poorly written and still be illogical for reasons that I laid out.
The reason usually is the villain is stupid.
16th thing is, we obviously know when they fight Superman, and I don't even think I need to explain this. Superman scales the Flash and speed, and it is stated by Batman, or Superman is stated by Batman, to be the most powerful being in the Justice League, or on the planet. Even Barry is massively confused on how Brainiac can even capture Clark. I don't need to explain this. It's fucking Superman. And I don't give a steaming shit that he's affected by gold kryptonite, purple kryptonite, pink kryptonite, cryptocurrency. It doesn't fucking matter. He doesn't need to get close to any of them, even though he could literally speed blitz any of them and knock their heads off before they...
He's touching gold kryptonite there.
What?
A gold boomerang to be exact.
Ginga?
Yeah,
you should drop
a
it.
boomerang made of golden kryptonite. That's supposed to depower him completely.
Not completely. It is overtime.
He manages to switch. What is it? Metropolis into daytime, even though it's nighttime. He can
Also the plot hole that the kryptonite that can actively hurt him is green, and they don't use green.
Huh?
And they use green. It's just. Oh,
I don't think the problem is that it's not green.
Wonder Woman's shield.
I don't think that's the issue.
It's like.
I could have
somehow
sworn,
she's the only
doesn't
one that
Superman
doesn't
have like
get
different
angled.
kryptonites that have different effects on him?
Well, yeah, the green one doesn't hurt him as much in this one. Like it's explained in the game.
Yeah, it's like
that's not
whatever.
the problem.
Yeah, that's not the problem. The problem is that Superman's an idiot. Why did he even grab
obvious
it?
reasons, probably.
Just lays it
All
there.
right.
Because
Doesn't it
she's
just mean that this is bad development?
It's actually because she's a creation of Zeus. She's not a like a fully living being in that way.
I gotta read some super chats. We'll get back to the video here. Kyle Rocket, thoughts on Joker 2? I know Lit Dev liked it a lot. I haven't watched it.
Just wait.
Seen anything about it? Don't know. People don't like
Literature
it.
Devil?
He did?
Really?
That's hard to believe.
All right. Second one from Kyle Rocket. Thank you again. I'm sorry. I'm trying to focus on what he's saying, but I keep getting distracted by Miles Morales bouncing humans on concrete. Yeah, the physics in these games are insane. They don't like gravity has no bearing on anything. It just don't worry about it.
They're only getting bruises. Nobody actually dies
Yeah,
because this
right.
is PG-13.
Turning your brain into jello is not.
Yeah, I actually had to close my eyes for a little bit just so I can listen to what he's saying. It's just ridiculous how he's bouncing, swinging around, and whatnot.
People turn into mattresses. It's amazing. Anyway, Legacy. Thank you, sir. How's it going, Legacy? Just to be warned, Colin is one of SK's cronies, where he uses so much mental gymnastics that it makes South Park look reasonable. It's madism. He is jumping topics a lot. I know there's there's a through line connecting.
You see how he acknowledges he knows there's a through line connecting, but he's still like getting like he's still like mad at it for whatever fucking reason.
Them all, but I'm.
The information itself's been generally solid so far.
Yeah,
I
but
reject the idea of likening mental gymnastics to tism in any way.
well, it's just like once you have a point, you finish the point and move on. He's still on the first point, and we've gone to 3 other topics now. They are connected, but
that's just being scatterbrained.
Well, does he mean the videos or outside of the videos?
I don't know. I haven't watched anything. I'm assuming outside the videos, so I don't know. Anyway, we are on 7 minutes. Let's keep going.
He can easily throw a car at light speed.
Alright, I'm gonna skip the part. People
Man.
who are not MMA fighters.
How does it feel to be my crony?
With guns.
How does it feel to be worse than
in
Southpaw?
regards to pre-established, well-known characters.
Dude, I don't know, man. It's certainly a title.
Like Spider-Man, for example. If, for example, in Civil War, I see his spider sense activate and save him from getting hit by Bucky right here, without it really being established beforehand that he has has this ability, I will not criticize the film for that.
No, it's because that's Spider-Man. Everybody knows he has that.
That was my point. It's so fucking stupid.
I was gonna say the problem is that he doesn't have it yet at this point.
Really?
He literally.
This dude says the problem is he doesn't have it yet, even though that scene literally establishes that he fucking had it. He goes on to say like, no, it was only it got established in Infinity War when his hairs lit up when Thanos' ship came down.
It was established in Civil War. Homecoming's just bad.
We're not swinging around.
What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, this part's funny.
When I use because we all know that Peter has this ability throughout his history if you don't live under a rock, unless you're John Watts. So that is why I would not criticize Civil War for that ability not being pre-established. So now let's explain why plot armor is bad. One of the most basic things a writer will learn is cause and effect. In order for you to keep your story logically coherent and for the audience to stay invested in your narrative, one of the things you need to have is good cause and effect. So for example, when I used the me versus reverse flash fight earlier, if that was to happen in an actual story, it can cause a disconnect to the viewer of a piece of media. But when you write a scenario that makes sense within the confines and rules of either your characters or a world, and that scenario allows the plot to progress in a logical and believable fashion, then people are less likely to get disconnected from the piece of media that they are consuming. And this even goes further than just storytelling. It can even stretch into something like music as well. When an artist makes a song and their lyrics don't flow together well, and or they might be like offbeat. It's something about.
Wait,
That
what?
one's so dead.
Wait, how did that connect? Am I?
You couldn't understand, like, I don't understand how you don't understand that. What the point is,
Alright.
but let's just keep
I mean, hey, we're all human.
First example, I will use the infamous fridge scene from Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah. Example.
Let me just provide an example of a nitpick in a story.
No, where's the meaning originally?
Didn't he just show it? I swear he just showed
Yes,
it.
I did.
Oh man.
You went through like 3 or 4 different examples, and you talked about singing for some reason.
People, bro.
Where are we?
Well, he was using that as an example. I just don't know how it worked.
How do you not know how it worked? I don't get it. Fucking when me and Liam were watching this, he was like, how do these people not get it? You're laying this out like you're like teaching a kindergarten class. You're even using like fucking 4th grade sounding music, because I was using Animal Crossing's music. Like, these people still didn't get it.
This is like 7 degrees of separation. Like, where are we going? Cause and effect, plot armor, the definite
connect into, one thing. It's pretty easy to follow.
About 3 other topics I forgot. Like, what is happening here, dude? Just define the term.
I did.
Show an example of term, why it's important,
did.
and show an
I
example
did.
where it's good and bad. And that's it.
I did.
Keep going. What are we doing now?
Oh man.
Not a nitpick in a story. For the first example, I will use the infamous fridge scene from Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, I would argue that even if a weakened Spider-Man is hit by an attack that leaves him under a fridge for an extra 9 seconds, that MJ should have died here. But what would this
Wait, what?
really change about the story?
Did she just jump in front of Spider-Man?
Yeah, you don't remember.
I wanna put that to bed right now. Like even when me and Liam were watching it, he agreed with me. But
Oh really?
In that scene, Peter literally looks at MJ, because she surprises him.
No.
So he's more focused on yes.
Let me explain to you the problem. We proved this on the Spider-Man 2 stream. What we showed was the first. Yes, we did.
No, I'll slow it down. For the first example, I will use the infamous fridge scene from Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, I would argue that even if a weakened Spider-Man is hit by an attack that leaves...
Fuck.
Like I said.
Nope. Let me just show you.
For the
Why
first...
did you...
Let me just...
let me do the pause.
I will use
I'll do the pause.
Okay, go ahead. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now,
well, I was saying the thing like
even if a
cuts.
weakened
So like
Spider-Man
if you actually go to like the
attack that
clip
leaves him
like
under-
on YouTube, if you actually no, it's fine. I was saying if you actually go to the clip like on YouTube and slow it down, it looks like he's focused on Venom, and then as soon as MJ goes to like do her thing, he's surprised and he looks over. It doesn't mean he wasn't gonna react to Venom's attack. And even if he didn't, it wouldn't really matter.
Let me explain. So when you're in a stance like where you're like prepared to act on something, like yeah, that tells me you're prepared. What happened is that in the first frame, right after Venom does this thing right here, where he's about to throw the tendril at them, what happens is that Peter's literally just standing there, not even in a prepared stance, while MJ already is in a prepared stance to do something. That is the problem. She's more prepared than he is.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. So, well, you're looking at it from Peter's like how he's standing or whatever. That doesn't mean he doesn't still see it coming, or he can't react to. Stop talking. That doesn't mean that he can't. He's not prepared for it. He doesn't see it coming. The point is, Peter's like he's still weakened in that scene, and Venom is obviously faster than him. So it doesn't really matter how he's standing. What matters is we could still say, oh, he still could have dodged that, but he was still surprised by MJ. Either way, it's irrelevant because of the point I'm going to continue on with. But like, again, even if this happens, nothing about the story really changes. He's still going to fight Scream, and the shit's going to play out the same.
No, that's fine. All I'm going to say is it's still stupid because we see in a prior shot that he's in more of like a prepared stance. In the next shot, he's literally just standing, not even prepared to do anything. Like, you can see that by the way he's just standing.
I mean, I don't really... You're kind of just picking out how he's standing. Whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I'm just saying it speaks to how prepared someone is. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Sure, but I still think Never mind.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, let's.
It's still irrelevant because it's still a nitpick for an extra 9 seconds. Then MJ should have died here. But what would this really change about the story?
Did she just jump in front of Spider-Man?
Yeah, you don't remember
to save him?
You don't remember Wiz? You've seen this like three or four times now.
I have never seen this scene. Because I didn't care about this game and this ugly Mary Jane self-insert from this stupid narcissistic developer on the team.
So this is gonna so what he just said right there is gonna tie into something that when they start really getting upset at my video because I'm criticizing them, and they just don't want to admit it. Like what he just said there. I was more upset at the ugly MJ who's a self-insert. The self-insert thing, the self-insert thing. The people that they like, they're fucking what's the word for it? They're trying to use her as like something to criticize as like a thing. There's a term for it, I forget. It doesn't really matter. But the person that they're saying like looks like MJ or whatever, or MJ's ugly because this person was there, like a self-insert writer. That person's not even a writer for the game. She was literally a fucking intern who is there to like be a shadow to look at like what they're doing. So no, that fucking claim is so stupid. And they like they're gonna bring it back later when they say all Synthetic Man was right about the game or whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But it's like no, you're wrong. But anyways.
Mary Jane? Don't you mean Lord Farquaad?
Yes.
Still mad about the face.
All right, let's keep going.
Oh god.
Because Venom would just revive MJ anyway and she would become a symbiote, and the fight between MJ and Peter would play out exactly the same. And even if you wanted to make the argument that Peter still shouldn't have been under the fridge either way, then again, nothing would really change about the story because MJ would still become a symbiote and Peter still wouldn't do shit against Venom to stop it.
No. What are you talking about? He's
like what?
First of all, his fire sensor should have jumped him in front of Mary Jane, not the other way around.
Oh my god, he's not saying it's not an issue. He's saying that it doesn't affect
Yeah, I know, but one, what he just said there is stupid because it's Venom, and there's literally a scene in the game where his spider sense doesn't activate with Venom.
Remember, spider sense doesn't work on Venom.
Really?
Well, his
it apparently worked on Mary Jane.
Venom's just, fast enough by him to,
His reflexes. Because... let me rephrase it. His reflexes, okay?
Oh, Spider-Man's reflexes are worse than Mary Jane's?
Venom.
You're not getting out of this.
Apparently, he needs to have spider sense to have reflexes, guys. It's the only...
Well, it still doesn't take away from my point that it doesn't change anything, really. The same thing will happen.
The way it works.
Yeah, that wasn't even a defense.
I'll be a woman with a mansion.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, and that extra second difference, if he wasn't pinned under the fridge, would make a difference because...
No, it really wouldn't.
Because you get Venom and... I just...
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't get Venom.
I don't understand
Venom's
how he...
way too strong.
How he doesn't see that as an issue? Like, all those 9...
Well, he couldn't even beat him with anti-venom, which, like, even when he gets that amp, he's still too strong.
Seconds or however long he was under that fridge makes the difference.
No, it doesn't.
All right.
Okay.
Thinking about the story would change here. Is this criticism? Yes. But something I think a lot of people forget on both sides is, while nitpicks are still valid criticisms, they are not the end-all be-all of a character or story, and they should never be treated as such. Now, what's an example of something that's not a...
Okay, so he obviously doesn't see this as a problem. Other people do from a...
That's not
he
said.
That's not what I said.
He said it's a valid criticism. That's what he said.
Bad story. And
when they pebble up,
yeah,
like when they all come together, when there's a whole potpourri of these little things, they stack up and you have a full bowl of stones to munch on.
This is what he's not understanding, and his analogy is fucking stupid because 20 pebbles isn't gonna kill someone. It's not going to create an avalanche. It's not going to wipe out a town in the same way that, depending on your story, it's not like how long it is, how much, like, shit like that. The amount of nitpicks that you point out is not going to break a story.
Yeah.
Like if I have 20 nitpicks of fucking Spider-Man PS4 or Spider-Man 2 or something, that doesn't make it a fucking
nitpicks for great
a
movies.
4.
This is like, if you look at one individual plot point in Mass Effect 2, you're like, yeah, that's pretty stupid. But then it just keeps happening. Like, okay, something's like,
That's not
something
this
like
isn't
every
a,
single
it's not
plot
even a
point
huge
is
plot
like
hole.
a joke.
Yeah, no.
It's one inconsistency in power scaling. For like one moment.
Crazy land is suddenly upon us, and we have to follow the logic of the writer. So
I mean, like,
if
I
this
can do
keeps
this
I
with
don't know the game, guys.
I'm
I
gonna
have no
pause real quick. Like, you can do this with the first Raimi movie, which I think most of us would agree is pretty good. Like, the lamp is broken, and then we see the lamp again. It's like, oh, that's a inconsistency right there. Toby's mask has an inconsistent amount of blood when he's going up against the Green Goblin. First, we see, like, he has an angry face, there's lots of blood, and then when he says, MJ and I, we see that, you know, Toby's face doesn't have a whole lot of blood in the next shot. But then he has a whole lot of blood again when he's blocking the shot. So clearly there was a problem in the reshoots. Or how about the fact that Green Goblin, we don't see him go to his glider or have enough time to reach his glider, and then he pulls like some blade thing, some trident thing right behind him. Where did he get that from? I don't know. That's a editing issue right there. There's also the editing issue.
Remember, like, what about Shang-Chi, like with the time?
Well, I'm
thing
trying to
on
go
the
after
bus?
one film, just to show you can point out many nitpicks, but it's still good. MJ's hair blows the wrong way when Spider-Man's swinging her after the parade.
Peter looks like a mannequin in that scene.
He looks like a mannequin. When he's taking on his uncle's killer, he takes the gun out of his hand. He then pulls out a knife. He hits the knife against the ceiling, and then when he pushes him away, the gun is suddenly back in his hand. So clearly there was a change in the production that didn't fully account for that inconsistency. You can point out things that are just like, you know, nitpicks, but like that doesn't make like that. The things I pointed out in Spider-Man 1, that would only bring it down to like a 9. Because I didn't point out foundational.
I mean,
things.
I wouldn't even say that's a 9. Honestly, I would still keep. I mean, me personally, I would still keep it out of 10. It's just like, it's so
like
minute.
9.5. It's like really small shit.
idea. But I'm assuming if that keeps happening in the narrative, like Mary Jane keeps like getting in the way of doing things, it's like, what the hell? Mary Jane, are you like a superhero now?
Well, yeah, I mean, she actually infiltrates Craven's base. Yeah, because
that's also not a problem.
To free Dr. Connors or whatever. Then she actually fights symbiote hordes and whatnot with her magic gun. And she actually has some Carnian training or what, so you can actually take people down.
Mary Jane, the girlfriend, has training in taking people down with a gun.
I guess
having training's not a bad
I don't know
thing.
the story anymore.
I know. I think the only way I can see is like reasonable why people are confused about it or something is like, oh yeah, she's still like she's like a normal human or whatever. But it's like, okay, she's been established since the first game that she's good at stealth, like really good at stealth. And it's also established in the book, like the prequel novel, that she's got fighting training.
I mean, we have
and
it
then
in this game. We don't need the novel.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, but the novel just adds to it. And then in the start of this game, you know, it's established she has some Karian training, so I have no problem with her physical abilities being amped. It's like they explain it, they account for it.
Yeah.
Is there a fight? So isn't there someone Mary Jane fights that Peter lost against?
Well, Venom. Obviously, Venom in that cutscene, he totally got bodied by a fridge.
Do you mean in the game or just in general?
Yeah, but I mean in the game. I think there's someone that she fights against that Peter lost against.
It's not true.
So she wins. It's
I don't
really
know.
fucking weird.
All right.
Let's use my Spider-Man Far From Home video. In one instance of that video, I pointed out that it was stupid that S.H.I.E.L.D., the organization, doesn't have tinted windows for their cars. Now, this part of it is a nitpick, but what I also brought up in that scene is the fact that Peter takes off his mask while driving in a fishbowl, when anyone from the outside could see his face right there, right after he just drew attention to himself. This is not a nitpick, because if someone took a picture or video of Peter's face, then the story could change. And it also compromises Peter's character because he's revealing his identity in public, which is out of character for Peter. This damages the logical consistency of the plot and the character, and how the story plays out. But the even bigger things that I pointed out in that video is, again, multiple characters being character assassinated and or out of character at multiple points in the movie, numerous other logical inconsistencies within the story, and things that destroy the world building of the universe. These are not nitpicks, and if you cannot come up with a defense for that criticism, then I don't think you should be just acting as though it's not something that shouldn't be fixed. Because
anyone could say that's a nitpick in any context for that specific element. So because you don't think it is up to you, but
yeah, sorry. He was talking about the car tint.
Yeah, because everyone saw whatever Peter do something, he takes his mask off, and anyone could have taken a picture like in a moving car. It's like, well, maybe, possibly, it wouldn't be very clear.
If you actually,
so what they basically go on to do is be like, oh, anybody can say anything's a nitpick, or anybody can say this is a nitpick, and it could be because the circumstances of the environment or whatever, like he's in a car or whatever. So one, anybody can say anything. That doesn't mean it's fucking true. I'll use SK's golden example. Anybody could say a spoon is a fork. It's not true. But in the context, like I want to preface, I don't even agree with that criticism anymore because someone left a comment that got me to concede to it, because it was just an editing issue or not even an editing issue, it's just a camera perspective shot or whatever. But when Nick Fury arrives, like pulls up, the windows are dark tinted and you can't really see inside the car. They're like 5% tint. Or they let 5% light in, whatever, that's what it's called. But fucking, so I agree with that, but before I conceded to that point and noticed that the windows actually were tinted when Nick Fury arrives, Peter just drew attention to himself and took his mask off when anybody could have been recording him, as they're driving away. So it is stupid, and Peter would not do that on a street level, especially, when he's literally level with people on the street, and they could record his face. And then they try to use that as like, oh, this point is stupid, when they, like, even if that point wasn't a good criticism of the movie, the concept that I laid out still stands.
Yeah.
Look at the car from the outside, its windows do look tinted. It's just that when it zooms in on the character's faces, the windows aren't tinted inside the car.
This is another issue of camera angles and omniscient viewpoint from the camera, which changes all the time.
There is a point where Peter does take off his mask where it doesn't make any fucking sense, and
which
his
part?
spider
There's a
sense
lot.
doesn't go off either. That's when he's in the bar and he gives when Iron Boy Jr. gives Mysterio the glasses.
All right.
Doesn't take issue with these kinds of things when you're watching a movie, or anything for that matter. You should at least acknowledge when things break logical consistency, or damage a character's writing, or messes with the world building.
Yeah, but then you're referring to the environment outside of the characters. So he's in a car,
What do you think happens? Every story is in an environment. You fucking knob.
Going down a street, you're assuming people are or aren't interested in what just happened, or were paying attention in the first place.
Yes, because Peter would be assuming that, and that wouldn't be a risk he'd want to take right there for no reason. Mm-hmm. He's literally on the street level, and he just drew attention to himself.
You have to then focus on that for some part of time in the story, so you have to like zoom out and go to like a coffee shop, and the guy's like, hey, look at Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. And then, oh, he got into a car and he took his mask off. Oh my god. Like, you have to do that for that to be an issue that's real. If it's not, then it's just, yeah.
You don't have to acknowledge. Okay, so they're basically saying the story has to acknowledge it for it to be an issue. No, because most problems in stories are not acknowledged by the fucking writing. That's why they're issues, because the writer never accounted for it. In most cases.
Who cares? No one saw it. Whatever. It's very, very situational, and I don't know the context of that scene, so I can't say, but it could go either way. And for him to say, no, it's not a nitpick, it's like, well, it could be. Anyway.
Harder to follow and or be connected with. And you shouldn't parade things like this around as just okay just because it just doesn't personally bother you, because that doesn't help any creator improve their work at all in the future or even during the creative process. You can say whatever it doesn't bother you, but you should at least acknowledge it's an—
Yeah, but we're talking about random public people that are, I don't know, reporters.
They're still not understanding the concept and they're just cherry picking that example. Like, it's so stupid.
Reporters chasing a scene. Oh, look, it's Spider-Man. Let's follow him around the city and watch him get into a car, and then follow the car somehow, and do all, like, take a picture of some guy in a car. Like,
you know, I'd love for someone to explain to a director of like, the car tent is not dark enough.
I mean, also they do kind of mitigate that by the fact that he is wearing a different costume.
No.
Yeah,
no, they don't.
That's not good enough.
There's lots of ways around this, but you have to understand what's happening outside the scene. And this is kind of like a stage thing, but because we're in a movie, you're thinking in terms of a literal city, not like you're watching a stage production. So if you have a literal city, what are people doing in the city? How many people are there? Is it busy? Is it not busy? Is there traffic? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I have to watch the movie for me to get this feeling of, well, aren't people paying attention? Wouldn't someone be tracking with their GoPro? Isn't there a guy with on tourism and he's got like he's taking pictures everywhere and he's just like, oh, Spider-Man, wow, look. And he's just going crazy with the 2 shutter speed a second. Like, I don't know, maybe, but you have to show that, and then you can make the argument that, oh, how about the guy in the park with the camera who's taking pictures of Spider-Man? Or the girl on her bike and she's chasing the car. Like, yeah, you could. Then you can make the statement. You can't just say generic random people outside have cameras, therefore this is a dumb idea.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, I think we should probably skip to the political brain rot
that
stuff.
can be made. And when we parade around these things as good
Oh,
writing,
well, I wanna
to
this part.
slop being created.
I mean, it's about to come
Is
up
he
anyway.
still referring to this situation? I don't think it's good or bad writing. It's just.
Oh my god, it was an example that you don't need to cherry pick. It's a concept overall that's being laid out.
Yeah.
It's just not understanding.
Scenario of Peter transitioning to another scene, or the story keeping going. So.
That's literally cause and effect. That's what that is. Like, oh my
Especially
god.
Since of film, and you have this a current issue with movies where like the superhero has to have his mask off because we paid for the actor's face.
I guess, but it calls into question not just like things like situational awareness and profiling. Like, you have to have the profile character zoom in. Yeah, pay for the face, whatever. It's like, okay, are we telling the story about the superhero? Or are we telling a story about the environment? What are you doing? So,
telling a story about the character in that environment. You fucking idiot.
That's what I mean by focus. Focus the narrative, like a stage play. Who cares about all the random people out in the world?
Peter Parker.
We saw that. Was it the first or second Maguire Spider-Man, where his mask comes off and everyone's like, "We didn't see it. We don't know who you are."
Yes, that's the movie accounting for it.
I mean, yeah, that's the movie. That's not something Peter banks on. You know, it's funny we bring up that scene when he touches his face. He's like, in complete shock. He's like, oh no, people are here. They can see my face. It's like, yes, I like when superheroes care for their identities and not what the MCU Spider-Man movies do.
Here's your mask back.
Spider-Man 2, the train scene.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, yeah.
That's where it's forced. Everyone knows him. Oh, he's right there, but they're like, we don't care. You're Spider-Man. Do your job. We thank you. And that was it. That was all you needed.
Sure, yeah, but
oh,
like,
it's a plot hole. Like, no.
Peter would never bank on that.
So.
And also, that was also established the point of like, yeah, there's a lot of shitheads in New York, but there's a lot of in that universe. There's a lot of good people in the city too.
Right.
That was the whole point of taking the mask off there.
And if it was such a big deal, he would have argued, well, what if we had like a fangirl and she's taking a picture and chasing the car and going, wow, it's Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. And then later you see on TikTok it's this picture of whatever. and then then that would be part of the story. But it's not. It's not a big deal. Maybe Spider-Man was having a lapse of awareness. I don't know, but it's not part of the narrative.
At least in Raimi Spider-Man 2, that was a point being made by the story.
Like we already went through this example.
A non-well-rounded character, or just a flat argue, and off it goes. Product we gotta
come around.
Bash them for very poor reasons. And that circles us back to another big reason why I make response videos in the first place. It's to defend things that I think are genuinely well made from bad criticism that could directly impact how creators think people view their creation. And it may cause the creators to cause unnecessary change that never needed to be made.
No.
Yes. Like, okay, so I'll let it keep playing out, but
I cannot see a big budget film or a video game people listening to a bunch of like one guy like this gentleman or whoever making a bunch of critical comments and then going, oh, we got to change everything. We got to change
Sonic
our next
movie
product.
did
We got
this.
to go back and add DLC.
Insomniac.
I know that's what I know, because I'm about to bring up the example, but they're gonna be like, oh, well, how do you know? That's the reason why they changed it. It's like well, one, there literally is an interview. I'm like 90% sure there's an interview where they like, you know,
they
say this is
they say we'll try to think next time.
Well, yeah, that's what they. I remember remember when people were bringing up like the whole police state thing. I mean, the towers from the first game and stuff, and they went and changed it and shit. It's like, yes, to act like no creator looks at their work or discourse surrounding their work. Yeah. And like that's basically what they do throughout the portion of the stream. They're like, "Oh no, you're dumb. They don't look at us. They don't look at what we have to say." And it's like you're just wrong.
The Spider-Verse directors talk with the Spider-Man 2 team. They literally say they do look at the stuff online that people say.
Yeah, I mean, like even like when someone makes a response video to me, for example, like what we're doing right now. When someone's talking about something that I've made or I've done, it's like it's basic human nature to want to see what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like to act like this doesn't happen is brain dead. We can skip through this part, but that's to anybody that wants to watch the stream on their own. That's basically what they say throughout this part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna skip to the political brain rot shit. Because this is kind of where I stopped watching. That's kind of right.
But some other critic, and you're criticizing
somebody else, but it's actually saying what you want to say.
Okay.
Like a Muppet.
Which is why I think response videos are a good thing. It can really point out the stupidity of the logic surrounding a lot of discourse
Of
and
your
people's
argument.
standards for things. But one final
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the creator of the media. You're talking about some other critic.
yes, that people will look at, you stupid fuck.
You're criticizing them. That's fine. But you're not going to change the mind of a creator.
Okay, it's crazy because it's happened before, but
video is something I'll call brain rot culture. Now, what exactly is
It's funny. I do just want to leave that up before we move on real quick. Spider-Man 2 is literally living proof that they do listen to good and bad criticism. Because like people were complaining about like the gadgets or whatever in Spider-Man PS4. What'd they do in Spider-Man 2? Well, Brian and Hart verbatim said we wanted to make the gadgets less one-shotty or like insta-kill gadgets. In doing that, but instead of like in doing that, they just took a lot of the gadgets away when they could have just balanced them better, to still have them work within the system, which would have made Spider-Man 2's combat system combined with all the stuff that they added in Spider-Man 2 that wasn't in PS4 just that much better. So that's an example. The loop-de-loop mechanic is something that a lot of people asked for, and guess what? We got it. Like, that game is living proof of so many things that...
Okay? We did this.
Well, like, Spider-Man 2 is just a prime example of a lot of people like the parry mechanic. That's another example. It's just a prime example of the creators listening and adding things that the fans want, or, vice versa. Brain rot culture, you may ask? Well, I think it comes down to multiple things. One, the people who just say woke, politics in my store.
I'll wait for you to get back. I'm gonna go get a bottle of water real quick.
He has risen, baby girl. Alright. Taking a while to get that water. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they understand. Alrighty.
Your eyes look terrible. Are you okay, bro? Yeah. Yeah, I'm paused.
Let's hear the political brain rot.
Did you unpause it? Most of these people who spew political brain rot as criticism are genuine fucking morons. You look at people like Synthetic Man, Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Endymion, Melanie.
Oh my god. I think brain rot can be applied to the younger generation at large. It's left, right, doesn't matter.
Yes, that's what is said in the video. It gets applied to everyone.
Well, no, just wait, just keep letting it play
Synthetic
out.
Man with any of these people? I don't even know who these other people are, but
You know what's funny?
And Critical Drinker?
So, well, you remember when Critical Drinker was criticizing the Acolyte and like the little youngling scene, and he like went through and like he was playing Count the Minorities to criticize it. Synthetic Man did the exact same thing in fucking his Spider-Man 2 review. But yeah, keep going. And like, if you just look at, I'm just gonna pull up Endymion's channel on my stream real quick, just so people can. I mean, I already showed a picture of his channel on my thingy in my video, but you look at this channel, his fucking thumbnails look like they're AI generated. He uses the same shit over and over and over again. He talks about the same shit over and over and over again. This is slop content. This is the definition of brain rot. Right here.
Drinker's brain rot? Okay.
He plays
Yes! He criticized a fucking show that he didn't even watch yet, talking literally about the politics in it. Yes, that is brain rot.
Plays a drunk Scotch.
Melanie Mack, the picture you have on the screen right now, does the same thing. And you know how she got famous? By eating butter. That's fucking brain rot.
The whole idea. He's supposed to be. Ugh. So, I don't know.
Endymion criticizes the socialist crap.
Yeah, and this girl...
which is the socialist?
Endymion criticizes the soulless crap. No, he literally is just brain rot. His fucking account is literally grifting off of fucking politics, which they're gonna nitpick my use of the word grifting, because they're like, oh, well, the word grifting means, what's it called? It means that you're scamming someone and taking money from them, in a, like, deceptive way or whatever. It's like, okay. It just goes back to, like, how people use the word, like, in society. It doesn't literally mean the definition. Like, the word, pedo, for example. You know, people call, like, an adult like a 27-year-old that messes with like a 16-year-old, a pedo, even though a pedo is something that describes like a prepubescent child. It's like you still get called a pedo even though that's technically not the definition of the word.
Well, it's because they morally see it as like very similar, or the same.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But yeah,
crap propaganda is the brain rot, and now you call the people calling out the brain rot having the brain rot.
Now,
yes, because they because the way they go about calling out this brain rot, quote unquote, is so fussy and like just nothing most of the time. Like Synthetic Man, for example, when he's or Critical Drinker again, when you're going through playing Count the Minorities just to criticize a project, just because there's fucking black people or different people other than a white straight guy.
Too on the nose.
Yeah,
Didn't like that.
yeah, literally the
Literally
Batman
Ryan
people
Kindle.
saying, you know, there's too many good black people in this film. There's not enough good white people, even though the main character is
when
literally
bullshit,
a white
when
guy.
there's a suspicious amount of women in Black Panther.
Oh my god. It's like this shit's not good criticism.
It's stupidity. It's brain rot. It's brain rot.
Yeah. But no, they're calling out the brain rot. Trust. They're calling out the brain rot, like just having a minority in a project. That's so brain rotted.
Aside from synthetic,
did you pause it?
Yeah. All right, I'll do it.
Aside from Synthetic Man, which is very questionable, I wouldn't associate him with any of these people, so I don't know where he's going.
I like how he says like Synthetic Man's
brain rot real quick.
Let me pause it real quick.
All right, you do the pause.
I like how he says like Synthetic Man is questionable, even though they're gonna do something that Synthetic Man did in his Tears of the Kingdom video, in a little bit.
It's just the brain rot is just so extreme that Synthetic Man can be right quite often about.
Yeah, Synthetic Man is so right. He's really getting to the woke politics by criticizing that a group that travels across the country is diverse. Yeah, he's really pointing out the criticism that we all needed to hear. That kind of shit's really necessary. When Critical Drinker points out something about a show that he hasn't even watched yet. Yeah, that's definitely like, calling this stuff out. Or like in God of War Ragnarok, when people were criticizing, it's a mostly white mythology, yet there's a black character in here. It's like, okay, why does that make the writing bad? Goodbye.
About it. That's the only thing.
Well, that's the thing with Synthetic Man. He'll look at something which is bad, like the Spider-Man game that had all those problems with it.
I definitely don't have a video going over how stupid his fucking woke shit is, like his woke criticisms are in that game. Yeah, I definitely don't have a whole thing that goes over how good those criticisms were.
God of War game, it doesn't take.
And he talks about the God of War game. Do you want to know something that Synthetic Man said in his God of War review?
What now?
He criticized and he was mad about and was saying like one of the characters in the game was demasculated. And one of his examples was him criticizing the game because he couldn't see two minors kissing each other. That was one of his problems in the game.
What?
So there's basically like there's this kid named Atreus, and another little girl named Angry Boba. They're like teenagers. And he was like, why aren't we getting scenes of Atreus and like kissing or doing something with Angry Boba? It's like, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, but no, trust. Synthetic Man really, the guy that had like 1 million response videos made about that video, he definitely was exposing how bad God of War is, bro. Trust.
Much to point it out. It's like, oh, there it is, look. And he's like, oh, this is crap. It's like, yeah, you're right, it's crap. But then he just keeps going.
This guy plays good by association here.
Yeah, like he'll just keep pushing it. It's like, oh, these are clearly gay men. It's like, well, maybe they are. The narrative isn't clear on that. And
you have the same opinion as that bad person. So you must be like that bad person, also a bad person.
Who said that?
Yeah,
no one's saying that here.
He pushes it too far. Whereas anyone who just can look at that game and go, yeah, something's off with a lot of these characters and their characterization and the time you spend with them and what.
It's crazy because majority of the time they never do that. There can be examples where you can point that out. But majority of the time, that's not the case. When you got like young Ripper, Miles Morales is a tokenized Spider-Man.
How long did I spend on it in my video? How long
Miles Morales
for me to
is
say
not
a spoon
Spider-Man.
is a fork?
They talk that way, and why Odin's a goddamn New Yorker, and why Freya thinks she's a queen, and all this nonsense.
Because she was a queen. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Synthetic Man in that video tried to say that Freya was a Mary Sue, and there was numerous people that pointed out, no, she's not a Mary Sue. He says that he gets to it later, but I'll just let it play out.
Who is not Odin's wife?
I don't know.
Frigg is Odin's wife.
We don't know anymore.
Who doesn't even appear in that?
Freya was literally Odin's wife, but okay, you stupid fuck.
Appear in that game.
Didn't Drinker like God of War? So is he still technically brain rot? Is God of War brain rot?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I said several times.
It's almost like someone's got Drinker has inconsistent morals. We know this.
And Mauler making excuses for God of War, liking that when it is just socialist propaganda.
Okay, why is it socialist propaganda?
Crap, the same way that Disney Star Wars is.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
They're-
What the hell happened with these people?
They're doing subjective takes on things they like for the sake of liking them, as opposed to, well, maybe this is bad in some ways. Maybe it can be improved. In
Or
some
maybe
ways.
they grew a
Maybe
brain
it's not
for one day.
comparable to other things that I should have experience with, and they don't. And that's where we go, well, why are you criticizing this thing as good? Because, again, I always say, if something's good, you have to have a really good argument why it is. Because God of War games, the new ones, were nothing to talk about in terms of gameplay. There's nothing special.
That's okay. I could pull up so many videos of people showing off like the combat and how crazy you can get in the newer God of War games combat. So just don't say that. I'd love to hear their argument for why the newer God of War games combat is nothing to really talk about. Love to hear it.
I don't think
Walking
Drinkers
simulators.
was the game.
Sorry?
I don't think Junk is much of a gamer.
I'm
not coming from
I think he likes them. I don't know how much of a gamer he is, but if he's criticizing a game, then obviously he's played it. So anyway,
I wouldn't say that
let's see where he's going with these
because we saw what he did with the boys.
critics.
So playing one game doesn't
Probably
gonna
have seen
make you
people like
much of
this.
a gamer.
These people who make their money from just grifting politics and media.
Okay, so now they're grifters.
Yeah.
How are they grifters, sir? What's a grift? Where is their money steal? Who are they stealing money from? Please tell me.
We went
Again, it just comes down to the way, like, you know, even if it's not the exact definition of the word, it just comes down to like how it's used or how most people can understand it. Like I feel like it's very simple to understand. Like we do this a lot with things. I don't get it.
for brain rot to grifter. That's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah, it's almost like they're one and the same.
Well, the only way you can, we
starts
said it
with
before, the
so
only
much
way you can accuse them of grifting is by them having an inconsistent view and not calling out God of War Ragnarok, which makes you question of whether they're even capable of spotting the message that they mean so much about.
He seems to like the Google definition of grifter. If you guys want to look that up, I can read it to you. A grifter is a con artist, someone who swindles people out of money through fraud. Anyone on YouTube, unless they're selling you a product literally to another website, is not a grifter. They're just taking up your time for 10 minutes talking about something, okay?
Yeah, half these people are banned on the platform.
What is
so,
SK?
I guess the grift is
Doesn't
really
that
working, huh?
fucking guy sound like Soapy Kun?
He does. He actually does.
I know.
It is scary.
He's fucking Soapy Kun. Oh, you see here, guys?
So, you see,
Political propaganda.
This has socialist propaganda.
Socialist propaganda. I like children. Don't mind that part. Socialist propaganda. Fucking Soapy Kun. Why is Soapy Kun in here? Holy shit. This is why I hate Germans, by the way.
Man,
All right,
I'm gonna have to expose you for that.
I am not watching this garbage, so I'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.
this is. He went straight to buzzwords. I'm like, dude, you were doing okay with defining terms, and then you ran around plot for about.
And
10
then you started
minutes.
criticizing the stuff that I do, and now I'm shit.
Political grifters, because I don't know.
Because they're one and the same.
Are you?
We started the video with so much promise.
Well, it might explain his scatterbrain.
They don't even explain why the politics are actually made. And when they try to, it's very often terrible.
Really, why are politics bad in media? You don't know why? We have to.
I'm just like.
I do just want to say this. Like, there's pretty much most media that you consume. There's some form of politics in it. That's not the point. Though.
Yeah. Also, like watch the content that we have criticizing these people. If you want to know why the arguments are so bad, that's not the point of that video. But we have a library of reasonings to hand over to you. So I don't know, just take a look.
Wasn't that literally like? Is that what you went over in your most recent video? Was someone saying that shit?
Let me see. Well, oh yeah, that's actually funny. A good example. Robot Head is accusing Across the Spider-Verse of being woke. And I refuted it because he had horrible points. On the other side of the aisle, I went after people saying Across the Spider-Verse is propaganda. It's like these are ridiculous points on both sides. But like, I don't know. Let's keep fucking going.
Because it's not politics, it's propaganda.
It's propaganda.
Which they should have criticized is just propaganda.
God of War's
literally
propaganda.
Has in its encyclopedia the criticism of Odin's financial colonialism, something like that. Completely insane writing.
Well, this is to me no different than saying the literal elephant in a room is not a problem. It's like it's an elephant in a room.
What's the elephant?
What do you mean it's not a problem? This is silly.
How big is the room?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was Odin's financial imperialism.
Financial imperialism, great. And the dwarf woman that Mimir wrote about that he considered to be smarter than him, the god of wisdom in that game, who wrote about basically Antifa shit, where she goes around and commits arson against Odin, and Odin being played by a Jew. And then he is accused of financial imperialism. So is that game now left-wing or is it right-wing?
I don't know. What I want you to do is explain, first of all, the dwarf woman you're talking about, and I also want you to explain where the writing's bad. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, is it literally just there's left-wing politics? Because that's not...
I don't even know. Like, when I played God of War Ragnarok, there's so, like, nothing to, like, point out, unless you're, like, actively stretching for shit and like trying to theorize like, oh, like you just said, oh, it's the financial imperialism and the Odin's Jewish, they're trying to do this, da 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 da. It's like, okay.
I think there's some improvements made, but overall it's pretty much the same game.
Which is funny, like, that they're talking about this, because like Synthetic Man was like trying to say like Tears of the Kingdom was like some Jewish conspiracy devil theory or some shit, and they're like out here doing the same kind of thing, like, oh, this is just propaganda. It's like, Jesus, shut the fuck up. Tell me why the writing's bad. Tell me why it makes the writing bad. Like, and also, like, if you look up financial imperialism, it's simply defined. Financial imperialism means a situation whereby a country or a group of countries gain financial dominance over another country or group of countries by taking advantage of the debt situation in those countries. That's not even what happens in God of War Ragnarok. Like, there's an element of imperialism, but it's not like, sure. I don't know where the financial part came in, but sure, there is an element of imperialism, but how is this inherently propaganda or bad? Like, what's the problem? You can make a very interesting story out of this.
But
I'm confused. I don't even know what they're trying to tell me now.
Is the game grifting us?
It's left wing wisp. It's to appeal to the National Socialist German Workers' Party members.
Yeah, but that only works when you understand that National Socialism was left wing, because it was socialism, and it was race socialism, and now we get from the left we again get race socialism. They just spin the arrows around, and he wants us to accept talking about politics, so we talk about politics, and I'm sorry, all this socialist crap is brain rot, and I don't want it in my escapism. But sadly,
man, that's crazy. Can you like point out an example of like the problem?
The socialist brain rot wants to be in every escapism because it hates escapism, because escapism means it's not in there. It's a refuge.
Man,
and the whole goal is to not have a refuge.
Man, that's crazy. Like, did you listen to what I said in the video though? Or are you just yapping?
Yeah, if we're just yapping at this point and we could just give short responses, like we don't even need to pause
for any
play.
So that we always have to be subject to it, so that we just give up resisting to the Socialist Unity Party and the dear leader who knows best anyway.
I'm not gonna like.
It's the most narcissistic, pernicious crap that could exist, and only crazy assholes, real grifters, want that. Because they all hope that they'll be the ones at the top.
All right, 14 minutes. This is going south.
Yeah.
They criticize shit at points just on the basis that there's something other than a white straight male protagonist. I mean, literally just look at Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Don't say no, because yes.
An example, people are upset that Jin Sakai's not back. We're gonna be playing.
What about the first? What about the first game?
The first one isn't a white man.
Are you fucking dense? Like, holy shit. Pay attention to my fucking example.
Yeah, Jin.
What about didn't he come up with all this consistency and logic stuff in the beginning? Where's that now?
Oh my fucking god. First of all, yeah. They're gonna do the whole like Ghost of Tsushima bad like I think that's what he's saying is like, oh, wouldn't they criticize the first game because it's an Asian or whatever? Yeah, sure. But like the people that wouldn't just come out and basically blatantly say that because you know it would blatantly make them racist. Like now they're just they're literally just going to the shield of, oh, it's a woman now. They're gonna make a woman powerful. Like there's two elements to it. I don't know why we're acting like that's not the case because people also criticize shit because it's a woman.
Yeah, like is there any deeper reason that there's a problem with changing the protagonist outside of you know, this person's a woman?
I mean I have seen stuff, but it basically just comes down to oh, I wanted to see more of Jin Sakai.
That's fine.
But yeah, I agree that's fine. But then there are just blatantly people that are like, oh, we have to play as a woman now, woke.
Yeah.
Like you see like people make these stupid ass like meme charts. It's like, oh, Uncharted 4 that ended and there was
if we want to go through examples, it's literally Ryan Kennel going, too many good black people in the movie, Critical Drinker playing Count the Minority, Synthetic Man doing the same. It's like that's the type of shit we're talking about.
Synthetic Man also complained like in the back, like you know the restaurant scene in Spider-Man 2 where Peter, like, you know, there's like the tiger and shit. He was criticizing that in the background there's like a woman beating up a man in Kraven's like group. It's like, okay, bro. Yeah, that's really detracted from the story. It's really making it bad.
Man.
The wokies got us. Like,
Stupid
Jesus
argument.
Christ.
The reason people are pissed off with woke Assassin's Creed Shadows is because you're playing as someone who is supposedly a historical figure, and there's not a Japanese guy in sight. Unless, you know, you count the people that the supposed historical figure.
Yeah, there are people that are criticizing Assassin's Creed Shadows because they would prefer a Japanese guy. But then there are people that are just leaving really shit arguments about the fact that it's a black guy. Like, the dude is like a fictional character in history, or I mean, he's a real person in history, but they're like making fictitious elements about his character and stuff. Like, there's no problem with them doing that.
Yeah.
Like, and it's fine to be like, okay, yeah, I would prefer if it was an Asian guy, because it's based in Asia, but just being mad just off the basis that he's black, it's like, no, that's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yasuk. Kills.
Ghost of Yote, it's that the actress they cast for that character is an absolute raving what?
Yeah, that she's running her mouth. Yeah.
Not running her mouth. It's that she's a raving communist mad person.
That's great and completely irrelevant to what the story could do.
Woman, completely insane and vicious and sadistic, completely evil. We don't have.
I'd love to see where she's a sadistic, evil person. Like, what? If that was really the case, she wouldn't be hired.
A problem with her race. We have a problem with her character. Didn't you you lefties, didn't you talk about consequence culture? That you can say anything, but that does freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequence? Well, how about we don't want an absolutely evil, sadistic, racist piece of shit to be the head character of a video game? And you know how we can solve that? By just not buying it. Because we're already repulsed. We don't need to force ourselves not to buy it. We can just say, ugh, and leave it.
That's the thing. He's not explaining what the problems that people have. It's like, this is...
Please let the video play out.
Yeah.
Please let the video play out.
Was Ghost of Yote or whatever, it's a pattern. Everyone recognizes the pattern.
Yeah, he's now doing the opposite of what he described in the beginning, where, well, you need to have an actual good reason to dislike a thing.
And there are people that do and people that don't. What are you not getting? It's almost like you should pay attention to the words that are being spoken.
He doesn't give the reasons why people dislike these things. He just invents reasons.
I don't. Okay.
And
press the play button. Back
to the conflation in the beginning, where he conflated not liking something versus thinking something is badly written.
That's not. I didn't conflate them, but okay.
Which are two different things, and here maybe he is projecting a similar fallacy.
Man,
it is.
It's they really cracked the code on it.
Because I thought this was the problem with media discourse. What is a discourse?
It's so
I'm sure he knows about the argument.
But just like press the play button.
He just leaves them out. He omits them.
For sure. Just press the play button now.
For the propaganda garbage is that they can only win an argument by omitting the facts, omitting reality.
Oh, man, it's crazy. Just press the play button though. Like, see what I say after.
And you have the same thing with narcissists and psychopaths gaslighting you in court. They have to deny the existence of the evidence because the evidence is damning.
Oh, you gonna like play the video though?
Against them.
Man, he destroyed me right there, bro. I got nothing to say.
With media discourse, the main problem for me is there seems to be a culture of toxic positivity, and whenever people do criticize something, minorities are almost always used as human shields for bad products.
Oh yeah, this is toxic positive.
Yeah, they can be and they can't be. It's almost like I said that, but you just like ignored that.
It is also something that you always see in narcissistic abuse, because you have to like everything that the narcissist likes and does, including the abuse towards you. How are you so ungrateful for everything I've done to you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean the horrible things, all the horrible things you did? I'm not grateful for them. I honestly quite dislike them. Or how dare you?
Gonna hit play now.
All right.
Smudboy's had enough. He's like,
it's
all
gonna
right.
be bad. Granted, there are people who say Sky story, but there are also people who are just saying, no, it's a new protagonist, woman, bad.
Oh, so they don't acknowledge the thing that they were just complaining about me not doing. That's great. That's great. Oh, wait. Oh, no.
Do I have to? Citation.
Citation, what do you think's on the fucking screen? Like, oh my god, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. You genuinely can't make this shit up. You can't be serious.
Citation, literally about to play right now.
Come on, what are you showing me?
Open your eyes.
And I'm not referring to the fucking normies on screen.
Oh, so you don't like my citation? Oh no, I get it. My citation, it's invalid because it's just the normie. This guy, he's not really for the cause.
Even normies can contribute to brain rot.
Yeah.
The girl? I do not care. It has been 7 months since your last shower. Get off of the game. You stink.
When having
what? That was an ad hominem.
What? Oh my god! Now they're switching to this.
Is when you insult someone and you don't make a point. That's not what happened.
I was literally just providing him as an example, and then I'm gonna elaborate more, like right here.
What happened?
There was
What happened there? He just showed me. I wanted a citation. He gave me a citation. What? Weren't they just talking about? Oh, but when the evidence is damning, da 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 da. Like, bro.
Exactly, and we literally there's a clip right there.
That was Asmongold. I have not seen the original clip. But we have already seen other issues with that. So I can imagine that other criticisms have been made.
Bottom right of Asmon's chat, that's the evidence. Yeah, I know.
That where a Japanese man is meticulously tearing apart all the errors of that game. And apparently there is also a Chinese instrument there where they make it about Japanese. So they're not even addressing Japanese culture.
I don't even know what the fuck he's yapping about right now.
Yeah, they're just going off an irrelevant tangent. They ignored the reference.
Oh no, but the evidence was damning. So they have to. Aren't they the psychopaths that they were just describing right now?
To Assassin's Creed Shadows, having the rice and the cherry trees in bloom, which doesn't make sense. They bloom in different seasons, and which is also similar to the atrocious woke remake of Shogun, where they have a stick of time, which is also an episode title, which is not a Japanese concept at all. It's something from.
Someone said Colin making debunk videos on people's opinions is pathetic, not gonna lie. Man, there's a video on the screen that you can watch that goes over just that.
I think you trying
Chinese
to
romance
debunk the idea of debunking is pathetic, not gonna lie. Anyway.
And you have all these conflations there. These people don't give a shit. And it's the left that always complains about cultural appropriation, not being accurate in everything. Yet when they do anything, they don't give a shit about accuracy and authenticity. And mind you, It was the left that complained about Ghost of Tsushima being cultural appropriation because a non-Japanese studio made.
Cool, they're probably dumb as well.
Yeah, like I don't know what he's talking about.
We're gonna make
this is
fun
completely.
Of them too.
Well, this is this
the
is
left
completely
goes around calling Batman media of all things propaganda. Like, why would I take them seriously? Like, what?
Or they call Batman a fascist or some shit.
They say that he creates a police state in Dark Knight because he creates a fucking. One time he used the sonar system to track down the Joker. That was
and then the movie acknowledges it as a bad thing and tells him to destroy it as soon as he's done. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. But like what he's saying right now is completely irrelevant to what I'm saying in my video.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the left says something stupid. Cool. So does the right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I know. Well,
guys
they,
are both
they think.
clowns.
Well, I know they think right now that I'm like some raging leftist, probably.
No, they
It's
did.
like,
Borgie said they
yeah, I know,
accused you of being a
Borgie.
leftist.
Yeah, I know. It's like, holy shit. Mind if I join for a minute? Sure, Smokey?
Smokey.
You can unpause it.
Alright.
That game while the Japanese loved it, and Ghosts of Yote, now the left now defend.
Well, he was also talking about like some rice plants and like cherry blossom trees or whatever. I don't even know exactly what he's talking about, but if it's just the fact that they have rice and cherry blossoms, that's kind of stupid because you can have rice at any point in the year.
Bro.
Yeah.
Maybe he's talking about it farming or something. I don't fucking know because I don't even know what he's
Smokey,
talking about.
Mr. Smokey.
Shut up. Anyway, these people sound like uncles, bro. They when you tell your uncle something, but they like don't really care about it.
Oh yeah, they just don't listen. And they just
They just
go,
don't
"Oh,
listen. They
tangent."
think like, man, my stuff is good, your stuff is bad. Back in my day, they sound freaking stupid, bro. Like this is like a professor uncle. Like I don't know. Sounds so. They sound like the brain rot people you make fun of.
They are.
Yeah.
Like,
Ends.
get hell, man.
Because I guess they have wokified the company.
Because the propaganda
with
and
that crazy actress for the motion
actually,
capture for the main
the
character.
light was invented back in the day.
I asked for a citation,
Now people don't
and then
have a negative
sidestep
or
the
contrary
citation.
conception of Ghosts of Yore,
APL.
but the
Like,
left
shut
defends
up.
that now. Because the left doesn't actually
left
care.
doesn't
whether
care.
you-
The left doesn't actually care. That's wonderful. We're not the left.
I don't even know what he's talking about lifting.
Well, he's not even listening to my fucking point. He's just going like he's again
He's
just going
complaining
over
about the
stupid
left because they
fucking
live
side
rent free in
tangent.
his head, apparently.
Well, you know what's funny? I even agree that there's a lot of like fucking radical left-wing people on Twitter that don't even actually care about the shit that they fucking talk about, and they're just trying to get like fucking points on Twitter or something. Like I agree with that, but that's irrelevant to my fucking point.
Yeah, like all you're gonna get from us is like, yeah, the other side's stupid too at points, yeah.
do alleged cultural appropriation or not, whether you are an outsider doing something about another culture, whether you do women protagonists or not. They don't care about any of that for real. They care about whether their propaganda is in it and whether they have control of the product.
We must
as a part
control
of their political
society
arm.
and deny
or
the
not.
propaganda.
When they don't, then it's bad. You shouldn't buy it. You shouldn't support it. You should hate it. When it is when they have control over it, you should buy it. You should love it. You should only
This is literally Yondu fucking.
That's
That's
all it
literally
is.
Uncle yapping about his old day.
All right.
That's the
SK,
consistency,
there's a dummy
because there is
defending MJ
consistency
cheating on
to their
John in
ideology
Spider-Man
and these
2.
activists. It's
Is
just
there-
not the thing you
Who's the
would
dummy?
assume.
Bubbly bubbly boop.
14 minutes and a
Bubbly
half.
do boop.
This is going down
Do
a
bubbly boop.
lot faster
Do
than I
boop.
thought.
Bubbly.
You like the guy?
Well,
Not anymore.
At the beginning,
Not
he had a
anymore.
strong opening.
This guy's the leftist.
Started off very well,
And
then
I don't
just
like
sort of
him.
Meandered with jumping topics, doing okay, but still jumping topics, so it's kind of hard to
I
follow.
think he's the most boring.
And then he got into, I don't like these guys. And like, okay, fair. Why? And then it's like,
Hold on one second. Oh, yo, Jonk. I'll make an exception for you. If you want to come on Disagreement Day right now, since you're in my chat, why don't you do it? Because you keep ducking every time I ask you
What is
in the
Jonk
comments.
doing?
So you're. I don't know. It's just some guy that always. It's just some guy that always says some bullshit in my comments and then ducks Disagreement Day.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
He's in my chat, right? He's in my chat right now. So why don't you come
yeah,
on?
Jonk, you're free to come on, whoever the hell you are.
He was saying how Joker 2 is terrible. What else was he saying? It was one of the Disagreement Days, I think. I think it was about.
I don't know.
All right, he on one of my things he commented, "Oh, Pigpen's a bad villain." He was saying, "Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine is terrible."
He wants Grease.
So
He
just
waded through the swamp of
that's just
cognitive
rage.
dissonance to end in the bog of contradiction.
all right. Let's go for another 2 minutes, see how far he does.
a new person, whether it be man, woman, fucking race, gender, I don't give a fuck what it is, doesn't make anything inherently bad. They could make a phenomenal story out of this game. They also get mad if like a woman in a game or movie doesn't look like prime beat your meat material.
Her jawbone has been completely shaved off, and she just looks.
What are you talking about? Oh, this is synthetic man. Synthetic man
What are you
doesn't
talking
like,
about?
doesn't
Maybe
like
watch the thing.
Asian women, apparently.
Really? Korean girls?
Yeah, he's spoken out against miscegenation.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that word.
He's not even making the claim that he's a misogynist. He's just saying he's stupid.
But these are pure Asians. What's the problem?
Yeah, it's specifically miscegenation when it comes to whites.
Really?
Wait, he doesn't like
I
race
don't even,
mixing?
what the fuck are you talking about?
Anyway.
Yeah, but because he synthetic man is a full-on ethno-nationalist racist.
I don't even want to know.
God.
The guy really has issues, but that doesn't mean he can't point out the actual flaws of the other socialists. But I don't understand why he would have problems looking. So that means he has problems looking at other races. Period.
What?
That's crazy.
What are you even? That's not even what I said.
What is happening?
I mean, like, yeah, I agree. Well, I agree. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. What he's saying about synthetic man's true, but like, that's not even relevant to what I'm saying right now. And like, what's it called? Them complaining about MJ in Spider-Man 2. They were just doing that. They were just doing exactly what I was saying in this point right now. Like, oh no, this thing's fucking bad. MJ's got a fucking
Very narrow view
shovel
of you.
chin.
That's fine. You
It's
can
like,
move
alright, bro,
on.
she's ugly.
I don't
Explain
care.
why it's bad.
You know, ignorant, stupid.
I would rather have questions about that scary navel of doom that is an all-consuming void that is way too big and
All right.
probably end the universe.
Let's keep going.
I know everyone focuses on her body because she does have a widely appealing body type that basically any man with any testosterone left in their body would be attracted to. But her body also isn't very exaggerated. As you probably know, it was scanned off of a real woman, and so she just looks like a fit, skinny woman. Average size breasts, average size ass.
What is
though
he
maybe
talking
above
about?
average for a Korean woman, let's be honest. I think the only reason people thought she had a big ass.
Have you met Korean women, Mr. What's his name? What are we talking to?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Asian bitches with fat asses. What the fuck?
Synthetic man saying, isn't it synthetic man saying this stuff right now?
Yeah, but
Just
Colin
pulling
is the
clips from
one saying,
synthetic
wait
man?
a second, did you just categorize Korean women? Yeah, he could do that. There's nothing wrong with
He
that.
didn't. Oh my god, he didn't even say that.
No.
You're just putting words in his mouth.
What?
You're putting words in his mouth to try to criticize.
Categorizing Korean women, you can't.
Well,
do
no.
that.
I mean, that was the point of the meme. It's like, what? I was basically saying, are you saying that Korean bitches can't have fat butts or whatever?
Well, yeah, but he's saying you can't.
Well, he's like, he was
categorize
like
people in
generalizing.
general.
Well, yeah, he was like generalizing Korean women, saying like, oh, it's above average for Korean women, as if like, you know, white bitches, fucking black bitches, it doesn't fucking matter. They can all have fat butts. It doesn't really matter. The fat having a fat butt isn't reduced to your race.
The breast size is a bit above average for Asians.
Yes.
Bro, that's so sexy. Bro.
I wouldn't even say it. I wouldn't say it's sexy. It's just
Well,
like.
it's just, why do
okay.
you care?
Like
It's like borderline racist.
literally.
But-
Not all Asian people are hot. Like what?
So stupid.
To be honest.
As are the
All their sizes are one smaller. If you buy any clothes from Asia, they will be one size smaller than you're familiar
Alright, duty
with.
calls. I'm gonna have to pick up some food, but I will be able to continue responding in the car. So you're gonna have to stream it when I'm in there.
You know what? I'll be the new
So I'll be
escort.
back in like a couple minutes.
We're gonna have to
deal with the ads and shit though. Actually, I guess I could just I could just stream the watch together.